I'm going to look at the wrong camera just to fuck with you guys. All right. See, there you go. I already cursed. Welcome back, everyone. This is episode 154 of the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies podcast. We are brought to you by Black Belt Digital Marketing. Anything you need to build your business on or offline, that's web design, Google Ads, graphic design, printing, we can absolutely help. Check us out at Black Belt Digital Marketing on Instagram or our website, bbdigitalmarketing.com, and you can request a free review of your entire online presence today. My name is Milton Campus. I am a black belt training out of South Florida. We got Christian behind the camera. No, like, give me something more than that, bro. Come on. What up? Yeah. What up, Jiu-Jitsu Dummies world? And we got Bo's in house today.
What up?
Don't forget to like, comment, download, share, and click that subscribe button. We appreciate all of your support. We're going on we're at like 5.5 years doing this now.
Yeah, we're just
May's going to be 6 years, isn't it? We were talking about if people that, I know that people like that watch the show in the beginning still watch now, like they're fans of people that I might know. I work with some people now.
Right.
And when the first episode that we did, it was in my ex-wife's boardroom.
Why are you looking at me? Yeah, he said that's why he's staring at you.
It was this boardroom table, and easily like 20, 25, it was 25 feet maybe. It was really long, right? And
was one person sitting at one side?
We were all sitting at the end, and then Bo was sitting on the conference room table with this big, like a good, but like big HD camera, right? And then like the flow was like when you spoke, he turned the camera towards you, which was really cool. It was like nobody's doing that. Nobody's moving the camera, right? It's usually just like all camera set, like, kind of like this, a little static, right? No, cut to the camera, like right. So yeah, it was just like that. So it's kind of like cool and unique to our podcast. But again, then we went to my house. Then we sold the house and we're waiting for our house to be built. So then we were in an apartment.
Yeah. And
then we moved to Miami for a few years, where Bo turned the master bedroom into a
but
studio.
Through all that, you guys still continued to do the podcast.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, everything was like it elevated each time. Like we did something more when we moved to Bo's place, or even we like added a camera. Then when we got away from the conference room, then it was just like Bo had his camera, then we added a camera, and then we moved and we added a third camera. So it was like 3 camera setup. My wife was like, "What do you need 3 cameras for? Why are you spending all this money?"
Yeah.
So that's not what she sounds like at all. So that, yeah, it just always elevated. Then we were like, when people came to the Miami, first of all, they walk into this apartment. It's this beautiful apartment, completely redone.
Yeah.
You walk in, the first thing they see is the balcony and like the view of Biscayne.
It's in Brickell,
like,
right?
Yeah. So
nice
it was like amazing, like, right? It was just like people would come in and then they'd walk into like, they're like, what is this? We're in an apartment. Where's the studio? There's there's only one room. There's obviously only one room off to the side. So it's like, is this an apartment? Where are we like going to sit in your bedroom right now and like and do a podcast? And then they would walk in and everybody was impressed. He had like, the whole, the walls all over were, what was it? What do you call those? Like the soundproofing. So it was cool. So it's been a journey, man. It's, what are we, 154. We're usually doing 2 podcasts a month now. I wish I could do more.
That's a good rate, man.
It's a lot to do 3 and 4. It gets
the thing, we were doing it weekly and we were trying to do it like we would record up to 2 episodes on a Saturday.
So tell everybody, right? You're the host of Roll Science.
Yeah, I'm the host of Roll Science. It's a jiu-jitsu podcast. It's dedicated to athletes and academy owners. We're trying to just give a platform for people to come on and kind of share their story because it's very unique story. There's a lot of unique stories in jiu-jitsu.
We didn't even give your name yet. So Enrique Rivera. Did I say your name yet? Right, we talked about it right before we got on.
Yeah,
wait. So tell them all 4 of your names.
Okay, so it's Enrique Rivera, Carlos. But if you say Carlos, you're gonna get all my brothers. So Enrique Rivera, Caquique. If I'm in Puerto Rico, that's what they call me. It's my nickname. And then I probably have a couple there that I'm not remembering right now. But they're around there.
So good. Now I don't have to do it. We're going to call you Enrique.
That's
right?
fine,
You say everybody calls you Enrique, right?
Yeah, like family and friends will call me Enrique, right?
Okay, so in the jiu-jitsu world, you're known as Enrique.
Right.
Okay.
There might be a Carlos here or there, but don't worry about those.
Who calls you Caquique?
That's like in Puerto Rico, Caquique.
Yeah,
so that's when I was growing up, they took the first name, the Carlos, and then the nickname for Enrique is Quique, and they just combined the 2. And it was Caquique. So.
All right, so I'm definitely going to send a T-shirt to, let me see, Kathy Jones. You know who Kathy Jones is? Kathy said, why does he have so many names?
The funny thing is that she put that comment on and she asked that question. And she's a really good friend of mine. And of my wife, actually. She's amazing. And we actually went down an ADHD-induced rabbit hole of like me having split personalities because of the names. It was funny. It was like a moment.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Appreciate you being here. We'll talk more about your podcast in a few minutes.
Sure, man. Sure.
Ben Stark is joining us again. Woohoo! Ben knows.
What's up,
Ben
everybody?
knows the deal. You've been awfully quiet already.
Yeah,
Are you okay?
Yeah, you guys are getting after it.
All
man.
right.
I'm kind of waiting for him to pounce.
Yeah. I'm waiting for him to jump in already. So where are we? So we've introduced Enrique. So we do a couple of quick shout outs. So like I said, I'm probably not going to be as structured with this today. So we've launched academysafe.org. We've got members. We have our first official gym that's gone through the entire process of getting background checks for 8 himself and 7 other employees. So 8 employees total.
Which is great.
Background checks, concussion course, U.S. Center for Safe Sports certification, security cameras, business insurance. Let's see if I get it all. CPR first aid certification, AD certification, AD on premises. Did I say security cameras on premises? And I think I already said. So really, we're really going with 8 because we include it's CPR first aid and AD certification.
That's really good
I
recall,
did them
man.
separate. So there's 8 things that you have to do. Those are all 8 things. He's got everything done. We have one brand new employee that she just has to get her first aid, but we're good because she's got everything else. And they will officially be. I'm not even gonna say the name yet. I want to announce it on social media. So they officially have all 8 employees completely done, background check, everything, which is
something
awesome.
that's needed, dude.
Yeah, man. I have a lot of other people in play, but it's just like they got to do the certifications. You know, the Safe Sports certification. You know, I split it up into 2 days. Took me about maybe like an hour and a half each day.
Right.
You know, probably I think I finished it in under 3 hours total. You
not that
can
bad.
break it up more.
It's not that
It saves your space where you are, but it's literally our platform is connected to the U.S. Center for Safe Sport, which really goes into like the bullying side of things, bullying, what to watch out for,
Right.
grooming, that kind of stuff.
Right.
So we're officially launched. It's been great. For those that don't know, I'm the executive director of Academy Safe. We are a nonprofit. Rob Ingram from McDojo Life is our executive VP. We have I just love saying this, that we have a Secret Service agent on the board. I just think that's amazing.
flex.
He's amazing. Yeah, it's
a
just
good
like,
flex.
yeah, and this is our Secret Service agent
Just so
over
you
here,
know.
Joe Scargill, who's amazing, and he's been like, you know, he just got shoulder surgery. But he's
saw.
like, he runs, and I should know how to say this exactly the way it's supposed to be said, but he runs like the Jacksonville office of the Secret Service.
That's pretty.
I believe
that's pretty
that's
cool.
his location. Like he is the guy there. So he's got a lot going on, obviously,
Of course.
with
Especially
the
now.
election. So then he comes off of the Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s detail, goes into Trump's detail. Or at least when they came down here, like he's part of, you know, making sure that they're okay when they're in Florida and traveling to other places. And now there's a lot going on with the people that he's nominating for some of them get Secret Service details. So
Right.
he's really, really super busy. But we've been getting him on like other podcasts. He's talking about, what we're doing. We should actually talk to you.
No,
about...
I already talked to him about it.
Oh, did you talk to Joe?
Yeah, we're trying to schedule this.
Okay.
Like you're saying,
Joe and Rob would be really great.
Rob would be great, too.
Joe is also, Joe's got an incredible background, but McDojo.
Yeah,
is,
dude, I've been following that forever.
Yeah, he's got a great take. He's got belts in multiple disciplines, but he's got an incredible take on just this whole world. If you're interested in talking about
course,
that stuff,
yeah.
and they're both great. But yeah, we've been kind of like, we've got like a little tour for them going on. And even we're going to be going to, there's a Center for Missing and Exploited Children here in West Palm Beach.
Okay.
So we're going to be doing a tour of the facility. I'm trying to get Joe down from Jacksonville. We're going to do a tour of that facility. Obviously, it's kind of in the same space of kind of what we're trying to do, protect women and children. And so we're going to do a tour of that facility, and we're working on a webinar. What's up? Oh,
sorry. My bad. I was trying to help you. You don't want the space on the camera, man. I gotta block it a little bit. Now I'm gonna break all these nice cameras are gonna break, dude.
So just a ton going on with that, but yeah, they would be great guests. And I got them going on. I've hooked them up with a couple of other podcasts.
If you don't mind me asking, why are you going to? Are you guys going to do a seminar there?
No. What, the missing and exploited children?
Yeah,
we're going to do a tour of their facility. So like we're going to, the Secret Service works very closely with the Center for Missing and Exploited Children. I believe there's like a location up in Jacksonville, and then there's, I think like their main office is here in West Palm Beach.
Okay.
So we're just going to do a tour for the facility. I mean, we're like, I don't want to say we're in the same space, but what we're doing is trying to protect kids, right?
Right. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So it's it's a great relationship to have.
Right.
They have the relationship, and they're able to get us through the door. And we're looking at doing a webinar with them so that we can kind of talk about what we're doing and how it relates to what they do.
They get some insight.
So
I guess,
yeah. So it's some really cool stuff happening. And again, it's we were talking about this before. These relationships have all come from the podcast.
Right.
Everyone that's involved has been somebody that I've met here first.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So you guys can check us out at academysafe.org. Get on there. You do not have to be an academy owner to start this. Meaning, you can be a coach, especially like if you're a coach and you like train. Like there are coaches that like I have a class here one day and I work in this other school another day.
That was me for decades.
Yeah, we'll kind of give the coach their accreditation, show that what they have. And if you tell me the different gyms that you work on, I'll start a listing page for them. It will show that the academy is not accredited, but you are.
Which is great.
Which is a start. And then hopefully those academy owners will take the steps. So if you're a coach over 18, we can only do background checks on people over 18. So 18 plus, we'll do the background check. You can go through all the certifications. We'll walk you through it. So if you have any problems or it feels overwhelming because there's a lot of stuff, you can get with us. We'll walk you through it. If you're a coach, you don't have to worry about the business insurance. Having an AED on premises, right? Because that's not your premises, right? So those two things are eliminated. What else is eliminated? You still need, your CPR, first aid. I understand you might not have a defibrillator in any of your academies, so we can kind of like forego that. But ultimately, once your gym gets to get accredited, they need to have an AED, which we're working with a company called Vive to help people get AEDs. I think the contract is sitting in my email right now. But we've already announced that we're working together. So there are certain things that you don't need because it's just not, you're a coach, you're not the business owner. So you don't need to do everything. So don't worry about, oh my God, I need business insurance. So we'll walk you through, we'll make it easy for you. And man, we want to build this up. We've got a good response so far. And so much so that we are doing a charity seminar down here in South Florida. So you guys know I went to Costa Rica.
How was it?
Nice.
Incredible. I went to Costa Rica to do I did the Heroes Retreat. There's a Heroes BJJ in Costa Rica. They do these charity seminars. They bring in famous people, Tom DeBlas, Brenda McCatherine. No, I went for the teachers of my retreat were Mike and Sheena Bidwell from BJJ After 40.
Okay, yeah.
I've interviewed them so many times.
Facebook.
Yeah, I've interviewed them so many times. As soon as I said first retreat I've ever gone to, first time I've left the state to do jiu-jitsu.
The state
I've never traveled and brought my gi with me and done jiu-jitsu anywhere else outside of Florida.
And you did in Costa Rica, so you went. You wanted to do it.
I went balls to the wall right out of the gate. So, but I'm actually like a little ashamed that 10 years, like I was part of academies that it was just like, you know, like, where are you going to train? Why are you going to train there?
Right,
and,
they were kind of closed off on the letting you train.
My first gym,
but frowned upon training at other places.
My first gym, my second gym where I was at for 8 years, but now we know why he was like that was because, he's the reason that I started Academy Safe, and he's been a bad boy, and he's the reason I started Academy Safe, finding out things that he was doing, and finding out now that I'm at another gym that has, we did a promotion the other night and there was like 15, 20 black belts on the mat that minus 3 that were just visiting, that were just supporters. They're all black belts at that academy. And most had come up almost their entire careers at that academy.
Right.
Some teachers and things like that have like come in and out. But like amazing to be in an academy like that. My academy wasn't like that. You get your black belt and then all of a sudden, why did he leave? Usually because you're finding out like, now you're in the know. You start to find out stuff. Right. Maybe, you start to hear but we realized why he didn't want us to go into other academies, because the other academies don't like him because they knew what he was doing. Yeah. Like the black belt world knew that he was a bad boy.
Right. But that's why the Academy Safe is so important, is because people don't understand that problem exists. You know what I mean? And usually you won't know it until you get to a higher level, because that's when you really get into the community. You know what I mean?
So we also we don't have a reporting system yet, but we have a resource page where you can reach out and report bad actors directly.
You're taking my buttons away, dude.
Yeah. Oh, you want? We'll leave them in the middle, bud. We'll leave them in the middle. Okay. There we go. So
you can share, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You mean you could report wrongdoers,
We can report wrongdoers to you can report them to. We have like the U.S. Center for Safe Sport certification. The U.S. Center for Safe Sport. We have their direct information. We have a link to their page where they can report. We actually added McDojo. I didn't know McDojo has his like own database of people that have gone to jail. So like if you go to Academy Safe's website, go to the resource page. Right there at the like in the top 3, there's McDojo, and he has like you go to his website. And he's got like the name of the person, the academy, the offense, the age of the victim, and how much jail time they got.
Dude, that's
like,
good, bro. That's really good. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But that's what needed. What do they say? Like, what is it? Sunlight is the best disinfectant, right?
Yeah.
Not for your belt though. Not for your jiu-jitsu belt. It's not the best disinfectant.
Put it in the wash.
Yeah,
wash it. Wash your belt.
Right.
Don't be that guy.
It keeps the industry straight too, man. Like if you have somebody that's reporting these type of occurrences, it's going to be a lot better for anybody that's participating within the community. That's important. Nobody's really paying attention when you guys came in.
Going back to to what happened down here, that like when it went crazy was that whole fight sport stuff and the guy working at Wagner's. And
Right.
That shit happened years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Those offenses happened years ago, and they only came out because a guy was
poked in the eye.
Tex Johnson got poked in the eye by one of them sparring.
Yeah.
He gets a big black eye. He gets pissed. He outs him on, hey, why is this guy even training at an academy? Why is this guy even around kids?
Yeah.
And it blew up again. So like that right there is the problem.
Right.
I was purple, maybe just getting my brown.
Right.
I've been doing this for years. I don't know about that until a guy gets pissed off for getting.
And Tex Johnson was what? What belt was he when?
Tex Johnson was a black belt. I mean, he was a high level guy.
That's the
he
problem.
knew about it.
But that's the problem. Like they don't find out about these problems until you're in like a high level black belt. When you're in the know, We want
to change that. We want to change it. We want to change that by exposing.
A lot of people do know, but they're like, "Yo, that's either my coach or that's my coach's boy," and like he's cool, but it's just like the thing. It's just, it's not that bad.
Yeah, but where your loyalty stands.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're being loyal to someone who's like committing this type of crime, man, you got to reevaluate
100%
who you're loyal to.
100%.
Say that again, please.
If you are being loyal to someone who is doing this type of crime, I don't know how explicit we can get on YouTube about it.
Let's not.
And that's still your boy.
Yeah.
I mean, that says something about you.
Yeah.
If you know full well this guy's like a diddler,
a dirtbag.
And you're like, but like he holds good mitts. Get out of here, bro. Get out of here.
Yeah, you definitely have and there's a brainwashing element to this entire thing that I think that it happens in the jiu-jitsu community a lot, is that you see you idolize these black belts and you idolize what they're saying and you idolize how they run their academy, but as a person, as who they are, they make these egregious mistakes. If you're willing to stay and not just not leave, but not say something about it, then you're making a huge, bigger than jiu-jitsu mistake in somebody else's life. You know what I mean?
So, yeah, you're like, I got to talk about my old schoolness. I don't mention his name and I don't mention. But there's
a reason for that. What? I mean, I'm assuming there's a reason for that. It's like a legal reason for that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I until the girls come out and say stuff, I can't just make accusations because I've heard girls are telling me stories about what he's done. But let me be clear. My old school the problem was that the coach was hitting on the students, the adult male students, on their wives and girlfriends.
Oof.
So I'm your coach. Yeah. We're training. And when you get in the car on the way home, I'm messaging your wife on Instagram or by text.
Right.
Trying to like groom her.
Right.
And get a date or get her to cheat on you.
Right, which technically isn't illegal, but that's a dirtbag move.
That's not illegal. That's not illegal. Morally wrong, not illegal. So I want to make that clear distinction.
Reprehensible.
There are other things that were said that I have no proof of, and that like are just like then stories wind up coming out and things.
That's the other thing.
I left when some of the things that I heard were worse, but nothing that anybody can be like, here, speak to this person. This person's the person it happened to.
Right.
But I mean, there were like bad stories, and I don't want to get into that stuff. But that was enough when I sending inappropriate pics to a student. To an adult student, like most of the most egregious stuff is with adults. Right. There are some other stories that are inappropriate, but honestly, again, there's no proof. So what I'm talking about is just that.
Yeah.
Now, the perception that the thing that bothers me is like, well, it didn't happen to me, so I'm going to stay here. And I heard some of this, and
forget that.
And listen, let me say, I stayed longer.
Yeah.
I stayed longer after hearing it. But I stayed longer. There was a reason, because some of the people that had told me that things had happened and even happened to them still came back and trained. And I was like, how bad could this be?
Right.
How bad could this be? You're telling me a story.
But there's that side of the story,
and then you
man.
came and trained, or like literally I know somebody who it happened to his wife, and he would still come to an open mat once in a while.
Yeah, dude, fuck that.
But he was like, he kind of knew. His wife like played along with it. And like she's like showed her husband like, look, this is obvious. He's trying to get me, like, you know. So the husband's just like, I'm secure. My wife was telling me what was going on, and he's coming to train with us.
Yeah,
whatever. It's open mat. I don't even got to talk to him, but I'm just coming to see my friends.
Right.
But the fact that people still came back, and I saw faces, and I'm like, but didn't she say that he was hitting on her? But like we had like the boyfriends would leave,
right? And
then like, you know, we had a heavy female presence, and the wife, his wife, worked there and was a coach. And it was a little bit more, people are more loyal to her. They're like, this is hurting her. We don't want the gym to close because of her. We're going to stay because of her. And I try to tell them, I said, do you understand that? I understand that, but you're feeding like the wolf. You're bringing new lambs to the slaughter.
Exactly.
Right?
Did no one tell the wife?
No, she knows. She's like, oh, the girl was hitting on him, or that was like, it's always victim. There's a lot of victim blaming that goes on. Right. And that's a shame. But I don't think that they understand, like, you're trying to protect one person by putting all of these other people into a bad situation. Now, I don't want to say in danger, because it's not, he hasn't been accused of that. But just the sheer fact of you asking somebody's wife, your student's wife or girlfriend, out on a date, or to basically get them to cheat, that's just morally wrong. You do not deserve to be a coach. You don't deserve to have an academy. You deserve to lose everything and have to start over.
I have this thought. This is the way I think about it, and I want to see what you guys think about it. So I think that jiu-jitsu is a place where people go to train, get better, go to the academy to get trained, to get better, to get away from their problems. All that stuff is what an academy can do, right? It can do. Maybe there's others that don't. I think it should be, I don't know how to say this, but I don't think that instructors should be using that place as a dating ground.
It's a Tinder. I've called it. He used his student list as a Tinder app.
It shouldn't be part of
insanity.
that. And it's crazy.
And having taken the U.S. Center for Safe Sports certification, having finished it, it talks about the grooming, but not just the grooming of the child in most cases,
right?
But it's the family and the parents,
right?
And the grooming becomes like
go-to guy.
Dude, 100%.
So it's you. I do such a good job of coaching your kid,
right?
That now I'm not going to say this about him. I'm just going to say this in general.
Yeah,
because he went after the adult. He went after adult women,
right? People
that again are can make their own decisions, and if they cheat, that's not illegal.
It's just
for
morally.
Them to cheat. But the U.S. Center for Safe Sport talks about the grooming that happens, and it's if I'm training your child, I'm making sure that you see that I treat them like gold.
Yeah,
I'm amazing with them,
right?
So that if the kid ever said something that like, hey, something inappropriate's going on, you would be like, no way, Coach Milton's great. No way. Yeah. So there's a grooming that happens. 100%. Again, you're grooming the parent, you're grooming everybody to believe that you could never do any wrong.
Yeah.
And that's what happened at my academy. It's just like, but he's so amazing with the kids. Yeah, but we're not talking about kid stuff. He's so amazing with the kids. How could he do that? Now, in that case, the coach has now found, like, he was a card-carrying atheist. I've said that before. And now he's found religion, he's gotten baptized. But this has all just happened.
Yeah.
And now he's running, and I'm going to say the organization. Jim, what's the church? So he's running a jiu-jitsu, like, organization, like a class associated with Church by the Glades.
Really?
He's running. So if anybody at Church by the Glades, please talk to your church and ask them if they have vetted the jiu-jitsu coach and jiu-jitsu program. And I've sent them messages and I had no response. I'm like, have you just vetted this coach? Do you know anything about this coach?
Now it's no
responses. Because that, again, I don't care that you just got baptized.
Right.
I care that this just happened. You've been doing this. It goes back as far as 8 years, as far as I was there.
100%.
I got stories from students that left, and I'm like, why did you leave? And they're like, oh, he was going after my ex-wife. We got divorced. She was telling me he was hitting on it. I just thought it was inappropriate. I left. Right? Like, so shit like that, like 8 years. So as long as I was there. So now these are the stories that I know. So you know that there's more that you don't know, and that it probably went on longer. And I've heard like stories about him like being banned from like, Fight Sports HQ. And like, because like, he was hitting on women down there, and they were like, hey, this is inappropriate. Like, get him out. I don't want him here. He won't stop bothering me. So like that has happened. So there's so much more.
Dude, if you can't.
How are you letting I don't care if you say, yeah, listen, everybody can be forgiven, but not this quickly.
Right.
Like,
but
he
forgive it, don't
needs to-
forget.
Let's
You know
let
what I mean?
him.
You got to show it. You
let's-
got to prove
yeah,
it.
let's
Right.
let him.
Don't forget-
Let some
don't forget.
time pass. Not immediately like I found Jesus because I've been cheating on my wife and
Right.
and really like with my students' wives
Right.
and girlfriends, and I've been hitting on them. But you baptized me in the ocean.
Right.
I'm great. It's all good. Let me run a jiu-jitsu program in your church.
But I mean, there's
I
always
think there needs to be a
dude,
little bit
there's
more time.
There's always
There should be.
there's consequences to your actions. Regardless, it doesn't matter if you find religion or not. There's consequences to your action, and you can't just be forgiven or go be baptized or whatever the case may be, and be like, okay, you're forgiven by God. Let's say, but there's still consequences to your action.
Imagine
Imagine if you did the same
think of
thing in a
another.
corporate.
Just think of another crime
Right.
aside from murder. But like like
You mean the coolest one?
Dude,
So, like-
literally
so-
the words
so
you
you're
told me
not gonna-
not to say.
you're not going to get. Well, we're a little further in now.
Oh,
so
okay.
So like, let's just say, look, I got a DUI in my life.
Yeah.
I had a DUI. Like, I'm not getting hired to run to like start teaching kids
How to drive.
the next month how to drive. Like,
You're not gonna have a
okay,
CDL.
Yeah.
yeah, right. Like, you're gonna put some time. Like,
Right,
I
right.
had to get my license back. I had to suspend.
There's got to
it
be
for a while.
ramifications.
Yeah, like there has to be some type of punishment. And because again, this is more moral than illegal.
Yeah.
Okay, there could be the argument. Well, he's better now, and he's in this, and he does that, and that's all great.
Right.
But do you really think that you should be feeding him your parishioners and saying like, go to this class?
Right.
Because they probably don't necessarily fully
not in
understand
the
why
community,
he's
man.
there.
They're not in
Yeah.
the community.
So like we know, and I think that is completely inappropriate. Now you were talking about, what did you say? The what do we call it? You were calling one of you guys called it. What is it? Like a cult? Did somebody use the word
Yeah.
cult
Call
before?
to, I don't know. I don't know. But
Not
yeah,
as-
it's
I
definitely-
don't want to.
definitely
I don't
agree with
want to
that.
accuse any of my friends or former teammates
I
of
said
being in a
brainwashing.
cult, but right isn't like that your coach has done something bad and sticking by them. Okay, they're a friend. You stick by them. You
Right.
want to support the wife. I get that, but understand. I believe also you need to understand what you're kind of doing.
Yeah.
There
which
has
is
to be
you're
a line.
allowing.
Yeah.
You
There has to be a line.
you're a coach. The more bodies you have on the mat when somebody else is walking in looking for a school, that bodes really well for
Yeah.
you, right? They're more likely to come in.
Right.
Now in our school, again, the more women, when a woman comes in to train, we have there were nights that we had more women on the mat than men.
Which is usually a
That's
good
great.
sign.
That's
yeah.
Yeah.
right.
It's usually a good sign.
It's usually a good sign.
I
Who knew?
wish. That'd
Who
be
knew
great.
what was going on though? Who knew that this shit was going on? Right.
Right.
So, but
Wait,
but
so you're
wait,
saying- wait,
wait,
so-
wait,
go
wait,
ahead,
wait,
go ahead,
So
go ahead,
I'm
go
gonna
ahead.
answer your question
Go ahead,
before
go
you
ahead.
ask it. So we used to all train together.
Yeah.
And there was a point that all of a sudden the girls were completely separated and went into another room and trained by themselves with just the women. And nobody knew why.
Right.
But then we find out like these things were happening,
Yeah.
allegations, pictures being sent to student. Like,
Right.
again,
It's so
adult student.
infuriating to hear. Like, what?
Isn't it?
Like,
Isn't it? It's just like,
especially
am I in some really bizarro
No,
world
man, but here's the
where
thing, like-
I'm the one that's
Here-
wrong here?
Here's
No,
what's
no, but
crazy
what's-
to me. You
go
have
ahead.
you. Sorry, I
No, no,
apologize.
go ahead, go ahead.
You have a program that's a successful program enough so that you can run 2 full classes at the same time.
Yes.
and it's being run and benefiting. I mean, just to be brash about it, a scumbag. And then you have other coaches or gyms that are like legit, above board, doing everything the right way and can't catch a
struggling.
break.
And struggling.
And it's like, how do we get these guys to swap roles, man?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, have you heard of academysafe.org?
I don't know if you knew this. I've talked about this for a half hour, like 37 times. Yes.
So listen, that's where this kind of comes in.
Yeah.
But it's amazing to me. I've lost friends. I mean, I've lost kind of contact with friends.
Yeah.
We just like don't talk as much. Immediately when I told them that I was leaving, the WhatsApp chat that was me and my boys from jiu-jitsu, the last message was like when I was said that I was leaving.
Yeah.
And pretty much like right after that, no more ever met. Like nobody's like, hey, let's keep.
Yeah.
So
No,
we're at
no,
different
you're out of
schools.
the
Let's
group.
keep this chat.
This is
Let's
a
keep
group
this chat
chat.
alive. Yeah. You know, no,
You're
it's so
separated yourself.
to
They
me.
just
but
started
that,
new
you
one
know,
without you in it.
and look,
No
I
offense.
love those guys. We have a difference of opinion on this.
Yeah.
I understand that you want to support the wife,
Right.
but do you also know that you're supporting like an addiction,
Yeah.
a problem that's been going on forever? And just because he found God doesn't mean that changed.
Right.
Now, what's the classic thing that somebody does? Like when a star has a DUI or maybe has a drug overdose or gets in trouble, you see him drunk and he gets
You go
into a
to
fight.
community.
But they immediately go into, before they even have to like show up at their first court appearance for that incident, they put them into rehab,
Right.
right? So it's like, I believe I don't believe that this is real.
Yeah.
Him finding religion means that he's changed.
It's the John Jones.
He's cleansing. Yeah,
right,
you're-
right.
It's
Exactly.
you're cleansing because you knew what was coming.
Yeah.
You know what's coming, and you're cleansing. Now, I hope with every fiber of my being this is true, that he's a changed man.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I wish that on him.
Right.
I really,
The proof
I
is in the pudding.
swear
You
to
will
God,
see in the
I
next
wish
6
that
months
on
to a
him.
year.
But I don't believe it because I've known him for 8 years.
Yeah.
I know him as like, no, jiu-jitsu is my religion, whatever, like just shitting on religion.
Yeah.
Unlock the power of your online presence with Black Belt Digital Marketing. Their reputation management program ensures your Google business profile seen by more potential customers. Black Belt Digital Marketing is your full-service digital marketing agency specializing in local SEO and reputation management. Boost your business today. Visit bbdigitalmarketing.com. Your success is their priority.
Today we're at Gracie Trinity. It's my jiu-jitsu academy. I've been training here for probably about 20 years now. I had a very significant tear when I tore my UCL. But I said, hey, let's go see if we can fix it. They did some stem cells. That coupled with some laser treatments to stem cells, man, this is the best my arm has ever felt. It actually feels better than my right arm does now. If you're looking for something to try instead of surgery, and it's an option for you, I highly recommend stem cells. They'll get you right to work everything out for you. And Laheel Biogenics is the place to do it at.
Special thank you to the crew over at Flow and Roll for all their support. Flow and Roll is renowned for their incredible no-gi rash guards, shorts, and leggings. Flow and Roll has quickly become the premier custom apparel provider for academies big and small throughout the United States. Reach out today to discuss your custom order and ask about their incredible pre-order program. You can send an email to flowandroll@gmail.com or visit their Instagram at flow_n_roll and shoot them a direct message. And yes, they can create an awesome custom gi for your academy as well. Visit flowandroll.com to check out their awesome designs, and remember, you'll get 20% off your purchase of t-shirts, rash guards, or gis with code JJD.
I just don't believe this.
And like you said before,
But
even if
maybe
he did,
this
there's
was the
ramifications.
maybe this was the event. He was so scared that I was going to talk about him and say his name on the podcast. He was so scared of losing what he had. Maybe this did scare him straight. I believe it scared him down like, oh shit, I better fix this
Yeah,
and
messed
like
up, yeah.
fix my public image before it even happens.
Right.
So I could say, oh yes, I made mistakes, but look at me now.
Mhm.
And if that's enough to keep him clean, okay, then that's fine. I just don't believe that it's safe to have him training a church by the Glades sanctioned jiu-jitsu class after he's been accused of this.
Right.
Yes, church by the Glades. You haven't answered any of my questions. You haven't mentioned any of us reaching out. We told you that we were going to talk about this on the podcast, and we wanted to hear from you guys. No one said a word. We sent you messages to your social media. Anybody want to send them this clip, send it to them.
But now the responsibility is on them.
Okay, if you're not going to truly vet, how do hey, just a new parishioner comes. He
But
wasn't
here's
even there. He was like brand new, and like a month later. So obviously they didn't vet him. They knew nothing about him. I'm sorry, Ben, go ahead.
Here's the crazy thing. Everything that he's going for, everything he wants to do, you can do. Get Tinder. Get Bumble.
Right,
You own a
right,
successful business. Get Raya.
Right.
Go nuts.
Yeah.
Why are you trying to creep on the people that pay you?
That's
Just-
100%
Dude,
correct.
there's,
man.
I think it's an
there's
illness.
sluts
I think
everywhere.
that becomes-
It's not difficult.
Right.
You can just go outside. It's
Right.
Florida. They're all over the place.
Yes.
Right. No, I agree.
So Lebby,
How many
we got
times
off-
have you guys gone into a podcast and this has been like the first time?
yeah. We've been doing. I mean, it's a
'Cause
lot.
you know
It's still.
what- you know-
I'm passionate about it. It upsets me.
Right.
To know
And I
that
think it
there
upsets
are
a lot of people, bro.
Everyone
It
feels
upsets
the
a lot
same.
of people.
Yeah.
Every time we talk about it, whoever's the guest is like, fuck that, man.
I don't understand how this is how what you said. You have it all. You've built a successful business.
Right.
Tell me how every martial arts dojo, studio, academy, whatever you call it, wants like a huge female presence, is such an inviting
Bro,
thing.
it's
Right.
so good.
It's so like
It's such a
important.
good look.
Yeah, it's a good look because when somebody walks in the door, when mom walks through the door with little Johnny, she sees all the women. It's more comfortable to have their kid around a bunch of women than it is
Yeah.
around a bunch of men, right?
Dude.
1000%.
So understand that you're by being there and staying a student, or continuing to pay your dues and to pay that monthly fee. What you're doing,
Right.
I think you kind of have to stand up and say, I wasn't able to continue to say, well, it didn't happen to me, so it doesn't really affect me.
Right.
I just couldn't do that anymore. There was a point when there was two things that I heard that I'm not going to talk about. I could tell you guys off air.
Yeah.
There were two things that I heard, and I was just like, that's it. That's it for me. I'm out. I can't stay here.
Yeah.
And even some of the people that are there were like, we went out for my birthday, and there were people like in a chat, like even that night telling me the worst things than I knew. And that was when I was like, I am out of here. and then people like open a school with another student that everybody knows, that everybody really loves there. Like they're like, I'm like, well, why don't you guys leave? Oh, we can't leave because of the other coach, because of the female coach.
No.
We don't want you like this and that. And I'm just like, but you can't. You're asking me to be your voice and to do what I'm doing here. You've asked me to do this. They're like, out him, like talk about him on the podcast, but they stay there. I don't understand.
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. It does not make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
But I know like how people feel.
Support the wife. Like the wife is supporting him.
Right.
Yeah.
Who is doing this to you?
Right.
Do you not see how that doesn't work?
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Logically, it doesn't make sense at all.
And I'll just say too that this is not, there's always going to be what are they like hearsay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another student said he wants to speak to you. He called me when I first started telling people. When I said I was leaving, I told everybody why. If anybody asked me why you're leaving, I said, this is why I'm leaving. Mm-hmm. And they were like, what? What's going on? Right? So students were hearing from me. So like anybody that reached out, I said, this is why I'm leaving and this is why, and I think that it should be out. Right. So he called me. So he admitted to having a texting problem.
Okay.
I had a texting problem, a whole bunch of reasons
with
why this person.
You'd be surprised how many people have that problem, dude.
Yeah. So
Norman sends about Pornhub.
I absolutely understand it. He was trying to repair it. No, this and that.
But the question is, why is he trying to repair it now?
Because
is it because of the image? He's scared of
his image? He has
Money,
a student with a podcast.
Yeah.
That could ruin him.
So it's for his image.
In his mind, that could ruin him by putting this out there.
Right.
And he was scared.
Yeah.
He's
so
like,
it's for his image.
Shit, I have somebody that has a higher profile than me in this jiu-jitsu world,
right.
At least with the amount of followers that we have.
Yeah.
And he was just like, oh shit, I got to talk to him so that he doesn't out me, right? So that's where all of a sudden the repair of the pre-repair of his.
Not to be crass, but it's like a dog. Your dog does not feel bad that he went through the garbage. Your dog feels bad that you caught him going
100%.
through the garbage.
Yeah.
And I don't know why you brought that up, but I have that problem at my house right now with the dog going through the garbage. It's an issio.
I was hoping it was with the dog.
No.
Like, I have that problem right now at the house.
My dog keeps getting out and humping the neighbor's dogs.
I don't know why. He's texting everybody. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I don't know.
So let me get back to these. We're still at the reads. We're still at the opening of the podcast. So I appreciate you guys giving your input. We can still talk about it more later, but we're doing a charity seminar on January 18th from 12 to 3 in Coral Springs at my new school, the school that I attend, Coral Springs BJJ. It is right on Sample Road in Coral Springs, right in the middle of Coral Springs, across from the City Hall. We're doing it with Mike and Sheena Bidwell, who I went to the Costa Rica, the retreat. They were amazing. They've been on the show. I think Mike's been on twice and then a third time with his wife, Sheena. So BJJ After 40 is the handle on Instagram and Facebook. The cost is $75. We're doing a third to Academy Safe, a third to the Academy, and a third to the coaches. Oh, cool. So they were like, I probably could have just done it all to Academies. I feel like, everybody... in order to do this and replicate this and do it again, is I want everybody to share in that.
If you want to do another one, let me know.
Yeah, I have a bunch of people who've been asking me to do this, and I just didn't have a gym that I was comfortable with bringing people in.
Yeah.
Now I do. I do. Again, a third will go to Academy Safe, so that's just going to help us continue to do what we do, which is trying to get academies in, get these background checks done. Again, academysafe.org. You can go to academysafe.org and you can donate through GoFundMe. We're doing the $75. If you donate the $75 to our GoFundMe is where we're asking you to do it. So it's tax deductible. We'll pay them out. You're giving it to us. We're paying that as like a bill. So, right, it's tax deductible donation. Again, a third of it we'll keep, and then we'll pay out to the school and to the coaches. You can donate via PayPal or GoFundMe if you just want to donate to the cause here. And yeah, man, we're not stopping. we're just not going to stop. We're going to make this a thing.
Yeah, it's great.
The more right, and this is for right. This isn't just for jiu-jitsu. You know, we're jiu-jitsu guys. We called it Academy Safe for a reason, right? I feel like Academy was the most all-encompassing for you know, JoJo, you know, karate, right? Studio, right? All those words that we would say, right? I think Academy is all-encompassing, and I really want to make that change. And again, having Rob from McDojo Life was just like, let's do it all. Yeah. Oh, the one thing that I didn't say on that list of stuff before was a belt and lineage check. So we're literally checking the belt and like we're doing the lineage check. We've been using Belt Checker, which is a great platform.
Yeah, it's been around for a while.
Yeah,
right?
It's been around for a while for anybody in the jiu-jitsu world.
Right.
It would be great if they extended that to also all of martial arts. That would be amazing.
That'd be pretty cool.
Because then, you know, you have like your coach can come in and say, yes, I gave him the belt, right? And then there's a place that we can go to. So right now we've had a lot of jiu-jitsu guys apply. Yeah. Obviously because we're in this space, but we're open to karate, Muay Thai. Wrestling has USA Wrestling, but well, no, I'm just saying in general, Academy Safe is open to any.
I got stuck on that topic.
Right, if kickboxing, an MMA academy, whatever your academy does, if it's in the martial arts space, we'll do that. You know, wrestling has USA Wrestling, but if you have a gym that also has wrestling, like we can get those wrestling coaches. You know, they've if you're a USA Wrestling coach, you have a background check and a U.S. Center for Safe Sport, which again, Joe Scargill from the board actually showed me the platform that he had, and I wound up reaching out to that platform, and it led us to NBC Sports Engine.
Could
brought up all those
gymnastic schools, dance academies get on with the Academy Safe?
No. I mean, we're staying within the martial arts space. The question has been posed before, like, could we do this for other sports? Yeah, we're gonna stay in this lane. Okay, my
build
goal
the system,
is
then it's easier.
Well, what we want to do is I've got people calling from the UK, like usually, or messaging from the UK, from Australia, like the English speaking countries, like are like, how do we do this? Can we do this here? So
dude, that's awesome. You have such huge reach. You've only been on live like 3 weeks.
Canada, we're doing North America. So this is right now. We can do background checks on anybody in the United States and Canada. Right. If you are a coach that's come in and working at an academy and you've been here for a short amount of time, you do have to do a more expensive background check because it's going to check you here and it's going to check you there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Our platform allows you to do that. You answer the question and it gives you the appropriate background check. It is a little costly for that one. So they're bearing the cost of the background check. So it adds a little bit, but it is, I believe that it's worth it. You know, for a coach, it's $99 per year. That's not bad. That's not even one payment from one student for 1 month. For 1 month. To be on here in a place where people are going to come and like we want to be the place where people come and vet their martial arts academy.
Have you guys have you printed out your decals for like the schools that say, oh, this is an Academy Safe school? You put it on their walls?
The first one will be going out.
Okay, awesome.
And it'll say the year, so it'll be specific to the year. So in 3 years from now, when you see the one that says 2025, and make sure that you put hold their feet to the fire.
Do your employees need a background check every year?
So, no. So the $99 is covering the first year's background check. A background check is good for 2 years. Safe Sport certification is good for 1, and then they just do a refresher course the second year. The concussion course is pretty much, there is no expiration date on that. You really only have to do it once. But then what we're doing, part of what you're paying for, is so that our staff can vet you every year, right? Your business insurance expires every year. The CPR, first aid certifications and that stuff, I've been entering that stuff myself, and most of them, they're putting them in now in 2024. They're only good to 2026. So that looks like it's 2 years for most of them. Right. So like we have to keep track of all that and let you know like, hey, your CPR certification needs to be done for this, and this student, right? So
that's really not a bad deal.
That membership, that $99 is keeping you, we're going to keep you compliant with our rules. Right. But eventually where I really see this going is we want to be an overarching organization for all of martial arts. These are the things that we should all be doing. Yeah, I know individual arts have their own organizations. That's great.
Yeah. I still don't want to keep teaching my kid or my wife.
Yeah. Right. We want to be this organization. This is what our mandate is. We want to do these things, and we believe that you're supposed to do these things anyway.
Right. It should be.
You're supposed to have business insurance. In a lot of areas, you're supposed to have first aid, CPR, and AED. You're supposed to have a defibrillator on. We're not asking you to do anything. What we're doing is we're telling the parents and the people that are looking for an academy that you have in fact done them. Right. Here's the picture. We've recorded it. They sent us. The one thing that you don't have to do, or that like is kind of the outlier, maybe is security cameras. Like you don't have to have security cameras. Locales don't dictate that you have to do that. But, you know, like if you're a martial arts academy and you're getting business insurance, you can probably get a better rate. I'm not an insurance guy, so don't quote me on this, but I've talked to people, it's like, I can get a better rate, or I might, if they're an academy, I can't do anything unless they have the background checks.
Right.
And the Safe Sport certification. It's become a thing. I can't get you insurance through my insurance carriers unless you do these two things, at least these two things.
Right.
Right. So it's becoming a thing. Or what we're doing is we're just saying, look, here it is. We've got it all done. This is when they did it, and this is when it expires. You can come here and check and see and vet that academy. And then what are we doing for the academy? We're linking to them. There's a place to leave reviews on our website, but we're actually going to start to connect them to the Google Business Profile.
Oh, that's cool.
So you'll be able to bring in the reviews from there. So we're actually working on that right now. That integration is going to happen in the next week.
Because it's hard to get people to give you reviews consistently.
And I don't want to be the person that is vetting reviews. So by connecting and pulling in the reviews there's a review section now, but by bringing in the reviews from Google Business Profile, it makes our life easier because they vet the reviews and you got to fight with them if somebody leaves you a bad one.
Yeah.
You're not leaving them on our website, you're leaving them there, and then we're showing that the Google reviews are there.
That's great, man.
We got a link to we've got you on our own map. We've got a link to your location. We've got a link to your website. Like, we're giving you something, that $99. We're keeping you compliant. We're telling the public you're compliant, and then we're going to make sure you stay compliant. So like, we're that extra check. For $99 for the academy owner and $75 for the coaches.
Yeah, it's not bad. That's not bad at all.
Right? And you can go, if you're a coach, you can actually go, like, if you're like trying to get a job at another academy, like, you can actually go in and be like,
bring that with you.
And by the way, I'm listed on Academy Safe.
Right.
Here's my information. You can see it on, and it'll carry over to your academy. Nobody's got to bear any cost.
That's great.
So like, you can have that.
Yeah, you
now.
can carry it around with your instructor. That's awesome.
All right, so that was Academy Safe. This is the longest read we've ever done.
Guys, thanks for being here. Jiu-Jitsu Dummies. We'll see you next week.
Thank you to our friends over at Flow and Roll. Hands down the best custom gi and no-gi gear in the business. I'm just going to go and give a bunch of gifts out right now. Since let's do it now. Let's see here. Hold on. So I mentioned gis to you earlier. So let's see. You said you're a medium?
I'm a medium, but we could do large. The way he looked at me is like, this motherfucker's not a medium.
I've been selling T-shirts since 2003.
Okay, then you tell me.
So if you like, when you said, it's not calling you fat.
No.
You look like you have a bigger frame than a medium. I mean, I immediately, like, in my mind, I went to the joke medium. Like, because like that's super small.
Yeah,
you look like a large.
I could take a large.
You look like a large.
Oh,
look,
he's saying you thick.
This is a medium.
He's
this is a medium, and just know that this is a medium. Any T-shirt, if you throw it in the dryer, it's going to lose at half a size.
You see how he's defending himself now for calling you fat?
That's
how rude. No, it's not me. It shrinks. I swear.
Your frame is. It looks bigger.
No, have you been lifting? you look real wide, not like in a bad way.
You look wide like this area. Like, I don't know.
You're just getting ready for Christmas, bro?
I'm hibernating in Miami. It looks awesome, man.
I've been eating a lot of cookies, so prepping it our own way.
Don't throw me with a bad time, bro. With a good time.
I have a Flow and Roll gi for Ben. I told you I was going to bring you
nice.
bring you a gi. So this is Flow and Roll 8-3. You said that should fit, right?
That's right, gentlemen. It's only in the gi. If you're doing jiu-jitsu, it's in the gi. You see that? Right there. Right there. Yeah, at me. What are you going to do?
You don't do no-gi?
I do both. I was an MMA guy.
Yeah, man.
And I don't have any smaller. I have also a T-shirt for you. I appreciate you coming out, Ben.
Is it a small?
This is an This is an XL. That's a Flow and Roll XL. Flow and Roll printed all the shirts.
Nice.
You got the logo on the back. So shout out to them.
I'm measuring it. I'm like,
we'll give you hats and stuff later.
This is like dealing with any like child under 6. Peace is never an option.
You know what I love about the Flow and Roll stuff is like they haven't like this one. Okay, says Flow and Roll on the front, but it's always like about a design. Like I haven't liked just being about like the name of the company.
Right.
Tatami, great brand.
Good.
But it's just Tatami. Like I want to design. Like, right. So I have this one. Look, I got Bo. Can you get that?
That's pretty cool. It has like a tattoo element
Stand
to
up. It. Yeah. Show everyone your butt. I mean, back.
You got to pay extra for that. It's Patreon.
Subscribe to my OnlyFans. So like,
that's a good radio voice.
I do have a really nice butt, though, just so you know. My ass is fucking on point.
Episode 200 done in Speedos. Let's go.
But that's the
Yeah, you
thing
like
that
the
I've
design.
always liked about Flow and Roll, that it wasn't just about. We actually talked about it like in the beginning. He's been with us since episode 1.
Yeah.
And it was always like a crazy design. And in the beginning, I'd be like, it's not the same as all the other ones. Why doesn't he, like, you don't even know that, might not even know it's jiu-jitsu if you don't understand. And again, I'm like a purple belt, so still younger in jiu-jitsu. And I was like, I started to see everybody else's stuff, and I'm like, it's just the name.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's okay for some brands.
Man, Flow and Roll could go for a couple small niche groups.
Yeah.
They could go more than
Now,
the,
I'm going to say this. As for like, love the geese, love all their gear. The rash guard is like the only rash guard that I could wear that I'm big in the middle, where like it doesn't like
you're not a
shrink wrap to my stomach when I wear an XL, and every XL that I wear with
Dude,
every
I don't
other
like
brand
that feeling.
is so like my gut is just sticking out. Like I don't like it's like the perfect fit for me in the middle.
Yeah.
So
That's
I really love the rash
important when it
guards.
comes to rash guards that make you look like a sausage. I can't wear them, bro.
But it
I
makes
can't
you
wear-
so aerodynamic.
Yeah, I hate it when it's. I mean, I got the gut in the middle.
Yeah, I got a little muffin
yeah.
top there, dude.
Yeah.
You know what's good?
I didn't notice,
Dude,
it's because of big
I
shirt,
did not
bro.
notice. I did not.
Which is a
notice.
medium, by the way.
Looks like a large to me.
Oh, here we go, starting fires.
So, I would definitely suggest reaching out. We actually talked about. We're not going to mention. They've been so busy, and he's traveling the country now. He's at IBJJF and ADCC events, like setting up booths and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they still do the pre-order program. So I'm telling you, like, do the pre-order program. You get your gear. You spend a few $100. He gets the design done. Does everything for you, and then you can. If you didn't want to lay out a whole bunch of money, you go and he puts the stuff. You design it, right? He puts everything online for your students and the public to buy, right?
That's pretty cool.
They buy from him, right? With whatever profit that you would sell it at. You agree to like, this is my price point.
Yeah.
This is what I would sell it for over here. So you get the profit, or he takes that profit and says, well, let's put that towards the stock that you want to get. So if you get enough orders, the profit pays for the stock, and you have not laid out anything more than a couple $100 for the design and stuff. So an interesting way of doing it. We've actually talked about like, hey, don't add that to the read anymore, but because I'm telling you know.
From a guy with a big butt to a guy with a big butt.
Yeah.
How are the pants for a big butt?
You'll see. Yeah. I do. So I mean, it's a consider, like, I can't wear like a low ride jean. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
you can't have a big ass and wear.
I don't
low
have that
ride
problem.
jeans.
I don't have
Up or
ass.
they're off.
You have to have.
I don't have mine are off because I have no ass, dude.
Yeah.
Flat, dude. Flat.
No.
I'm Puerto Rican. It's embarrassing.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Puerto Rican. I got the big. I got the.
You
big
got
one.
it then.
Yeah, my dad.
I don't know where mine came
Got
from.
it from my dad.
Eastern European.
Got it from
Jew.
my dad. Sorry, my mom's got a flat ass. My dad's got.
Dude, I got a
my
flat
dad's
one,
got the
bro.
butt. And look, I've been an athlete since I was a little kid. I mean, probably
You can tell,
just
Papi.
lifting weights as an
Look at
adult,
you.
and then I found jiu-jitsu in like my 40s.
Yeah.
But like as a kid, I mean, it was just running, gymnastics, soccer. Like I did it all. So I thought it was that, but I think it is in the genes. But yes, I have that problem of. So I got a gi as a gift, another brand, and it's like small, and like what happens?
Yeah.
The material's in the back, then you lose
Yeah.
space in the front,
A
right? Which
Melvin.
becomes uncomfortable. Yeah.
You remember Bill and Ted's Excellence Adventure? A Melvin. It's a front wedgie.
It's the front wedge. Yeah. So that
Shack
happens. Yeah.
in their nuts.
That happens. So like I have to like I am very
Thicker than a biscuit.
I have to find very specific brands to wear, and like Flow and Roll has been great for me. For me with the A3, it's the same thing. Like I've thrown gis into the dryer, and you're gonna lose a little bit. You're gonna shrink a little bit. I don't throw my gis in the dryer. I wash them, but I lay them flat to dry.
You put your gi in the dryer?
No, I don't. I have.
Dude, I do.
But I have when I didn't know, when I was like just starting out in jiu-jitsu, and I'd be like, well, now that doesn't fit. Like,
Sacrilege.
Dude, I put
like
mine in the
this,
dryer,
like-
bro.
Huh?
I still put mine in the dryer.
Really?
Yeah, bro. It does. It does shrink
what
on the
size gi
legs.
do you wear?
A2.
Okay, so is it like big out of the bag? Is it like a little loose and big?
Yeah, it's loose.
So you can lose like a
Yeah.
little,
No,
like
yeah,
a
it's
tiny
loose,
bit
it's
of the
loose.
size.
It's
A3
losing the sense of the
I
length.
need every inch of that A3. When I first started and I didn't know how gis were supposed to fit,
Yeah.
my coach was giving me his old stuff.
Yeah.
He gave me an A3, and I'm like, this is kind of tight, but I didn't know how it's supposed to fit, that it could be a
Right.
little shorter, like the legs could be a little shorter.
Yeah.
And he ordered me an A4, and I was just swimming in that
Yeah.
thing. And I was just like, sorry, coach, I didn't realize
It
what I
doesn't
was
work.
doing. I didn't know any
And
better.
that's the worst. If you go to a gi class and you have an extra large gi on you,
Yeah.
they're going to be gripping from everywhere, bro.
My wife
It's way
bought
too
me a
big.
beautiful gi for my birthday,
Yeah.
and it was like Some brands I am an A4. Some brands I am an A3.
Which is another problem, yeah.
Oh, it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And this was one of the bigger brands, but it was such a nice gi. And I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to wear it. I'm going to send it out. I'm going to have one of my designs embroidered on the back. This is going to be hot. Then I put it on, and it goes to like here.
Oh.
No.
I have not
I
had
still
that
rock it.
problem
Don't
with flow and
forget.
roll. I do not. So I'll do this. If I do want to shrink a gi, I'll wash it. I will lay it flat
Yeah.
so that it gets almost all the way dry. And then just when it's just a little just moist. Right, people hate that word. Still moist.
Well, how do you do that?
When it's still moist, then I'll just throw it in for like 15 minutes in the dryer. And
Yeah.
it's almost like you're controlling the shrinkage.
Yeah.
You know, when things get moist, I've heard that 15
Yeah.
minutes is the
Yeah.
ideal amount of time.
You want a little shrinkage when it's moist, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
what's
you don't,
moist?
you don't
Wait,
want
wait,
that.
wait,
Once
hold
you
on
run
a
out
second.
of moisture.
No,
We've been doing it wrong this whole time. Hold on.
I completely.
You really thought about this strategy when you were like gi strategy to dry it.
Listen,
huh?
as
15 minutes in.
I have, right. You have the broad shoulders, right?
Yes.
I've had that. No matter how fat I am in the middle, it's the shoulders that
Yeah.
usually fuck it up for me. So like when I put the gi on, sometimes like again if it shrinks, it's like, okay, I'm big in the middle, and I can't get it to close.
Yeah, you have,
and
like,
then
the
the
late
belly comes
lapels
out,
right
and
away.
it's just, you're doing the warm ups, and all of a sudden the gi's just opening and opening.
Oh,
and opening. Like,
yeah.
it's embarrassing.
Yeah, it's just open at the
Yeah.
top. You have the lapels right.
I've had a
just
few guys
breaking
make
apart.
comments. Son of a bitch.
Did you then smash those little people?
No, that was somebody that could smash me easily.
Oh.
Usually those are the ones that would make the comment.
But I do check out the gi. I really like it. So note that I'll talk to you a little bit more about this after. If you did want to talk to him, I mean, if you have like a gi style or brand that you like, tell him, and they can. I'm not saying they wouldn't copy it, but if he understands what you like,
Oh, no,
the
I got
cut and the fit,
If
they
I'm-
will make it to that cut and fit for you.
If I got someone who'll do it like crazy custom and keep it reasonable, I'm
Yeah.
going inside lining. Like,
Yeah.
bro, you might as well have a bodysuit of tattoos for what I
Yeah.
want to do on the outside of this gi.
Flow and Roll could do all that stuff for you, and then again, you're kind of family now, so
Hey. Uncle
You know, talk-
Benny's coming to town. bud.
there's nothing wrong with just talking to him. There's no cost for the
Oh,
talk.
yeah.
But again, for when people hear about understand that pre-order program, think about that. Let's just say you had to
pretty
lay
attractive.
out $300, and then you get all of your gis designed,
Mm-hmm.
everything that you want. I'm quoting 300. It might be more or less. But then all of your stuff is online. You could tell your students, go buy them here for now. I am going to be stocking them it's a pre-order program. You're going to order it.
Yeah.
He's going to get that whole order, then place the order, then ship them out
You
to
think
them.
you can do it by 10 a.m. tomorrow?
No.
All right, let's check.
He'll actually send them the gi in a back. I didn't bring you the backpack. There wasn't a backpack
Mm-hmm.
with that one, but it actually comes like usually a gi in a backpack. I wear the backpack for the gym, one of those string backpacks.
Yeah.
Right? So it comes in a bag. He always sends like stickers and little things and extra stuff, patches and things. But he's sending them their stuff. Maybe they ordered some T-shirts and did some other stuff, whatever, or gets a belt, right?
Mm-hmm.
He does embroidered belts and all that shit. But that stuff winds up, or at least the gi sale winds up paying for, oh shit, well, take
Yeah,
that
that's
extra
awesome.
profit and let's do my no gi, my shorts, blah, 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 blah. So I think it's a great program, and
pretty
he's
cool.
super easy to work with.
Yeah.
I met him through somebody else who wound up, we stopped doing business, but me and him kept on doing business. I was like, I didn't like the way they did business. And he and I talked about it, and we just like clicked. And it's funny because we were kind of like kind of on the same trajectory with, I had started the podcast. I was working for another marketing company, but then I started my marketing company after I started working with him. So we've had this like similar trajectories.
Cool.
And even though we're selling different products, like we lean on each other for business advice, and we talk a lot about business. So like we're always kind of like in a similar place as far as growth.
That's cool.
So he's great. He's a great person to talk. He knows tons of other academies. He knows people that he makes introductions. He puts people together. So
awesome.
he's a really great guy. So, okay, you've got that program. Check them out at flow_n_roll on Instagram. Their website is flowandroll.com. And if you just want to go on and order a gi or order a T-shirt or even an embroidered belt, use code JJD. You get 20% off your online order. Okay. Again, I can't believe we're still doing reads here. So Leo Optics.
That's my fault. I come in with the ADHD.
No, I told you, man. We're just all over.
Just
the place.
don't say. I'm not gonna say anything anymore. You don't say anything more.
No. Keep on.
Then
doing
we
it.
can start
It's
talking
more
about
fun.
it.
Can we
It's
just
more
can
fun.
we just breathe heavy into the mic?
Yeah, you can do that. Ladies and gentlemen, Leo Optics. Shout out to Leo Optics, the go-to brand for sunglasses and apparel, featuring their unique bamboo sunglasses, just like these right here, baby. Born in Southern California.
They're so sexy.
Their products embody the BJJ lifestyle that we all know and love. Visit Leo Optics and use code JJD for 10% off your order. Supporters, they are also supporters of Academy Safe. So they got their logo on Academy Safe. They've been a supporter for a while.
safety.
We're going to be doing a We're going to be doing a raffle, probably a little bit online, and we'll let people do it online, but we're also going to do it at the seminar. So they're going to give us some stuff to raffle. Leo Optics is going to give us some stuff to raffle. I'm assuming we're going to get some glasses. They've got rash guards and things like that as well. So we're going to get some stuff to raffle off. I mean, there's like $100+ sunglasses. So did I ever get you a pair of sunglasses? Yeah, you did. Yeah, we did. Yeah.
What are you talking about?
We did, right? We gave you sunglasses.
I mean, you
right?
did, but my wife took them. So.
Oh yeah.
No.
Remind me to bring you a pair. So new sponsor alert. Christian's over there going, what has gone wrong with this podcast today?
I'm loving it.
So this is like a total. I don't even know. So new sponsor, Laheel Biogenics. They found us after we did the Robbie D'Onofrio podcast. You guys know Robbie D'Onofrio?
No.
It's like blew up on social media. He does a lot of kind of like tutorial videos. Like that Tampa, that
Now it sounds
Gracie
familiar.
Tampa,
Yeah,
like
now it sounds familiar, yeah.
that crew up there in that area.
I think he was at a seminar I did in Hartford, Connecticut, like 12 years ago.
Really? Yeah. So Chris Rodriguez, Robbie, what's his name? Fry, Professor Fry. There's one other big name up there. He was a UFC fighter.
Matt
Arroyo, that crew, that whole crew up there.
Yeah.
They're all working with kind of like the same marketing company that does the social media for them. So all those videos,
Matt, they're strong.
Yeah, they've done a really good job. I forget the name. Robbie's is, I don't know. Is he Gracie Bradenton?
I don't know.
Chris is she sold Gracie Gracie Pack, right?
Yep.
She sold Gracie Pack. So that whole crew up in that area, they're kind of a strong bond. Laheel works with Robbie. They saw our podcast. They reached out. Now we're working together. So rolling every day is tough on the body, but pain doesn't have to hold you back. At Laheel Biogenics, they empower jiu-jitsu practitioners like you to recover faster, train harder, and achieve peak performance with the power of regenerative medicine. They help athletes stay on the mat and on top of their game. So if you're not local, right? Okay, so now we're a podcast. We've got people all over the country, right? So if you're not local, it's not a problem. You can schedule a free telephone consultation. The process is easy with same-day treatment, right? So you can reach out. So at Laheel Biogenics, their expert team delivers more than just natural biologics. They're offering advanced solutions like exosome therapy, prescribed medical-grade peptides, laser therapy, and so much more to keep you performing at your best. So don't let pain or injuries hold you back. Schedule your free in-person or telemedicine consultation today at laheel.com. That's LEHEAL.com, and let them help you get back to doing what you love.
That's great.
So you were asking about some of the other products that they offer. We talked about it before. Reach out.
Sweet.
Normally, this is going to be like, "Hey, welcome, Enrique."
Dude, that's fine.
He does.
Hey,
Here
welcome.
now.
Thank you for being so patient with the.
It's also kind of my fault because I was like, got really into the Academy Safe stuff.
Listen. Yeah, I told you. Like, it's more fun for me to do it that way, honestly.
Yeah.
But I think that's the first time we did the reads an hour into the podcast.
Whoops.
Sorry, Laheel. That's usually not when we read for you.
And you
but
asked why I was being quiet.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to happen.
So what do we do with the commercial? Usually we play the commercials at a half hour. Yeah.
These are the best commercials I've ever seen.
Well, so let's go back and talk about Roll Science, your podcast.
Right.
How did that start? Give us a little history and tell us where you're at now.
I mean, we were talking about it before we got on the episode, which it was kind of similar stories to what was your genesis for Jiu-Jitsu Dummies. It's essentially, the idea came from conversations that I was having with a lot of people on the mat, and a lot of those conversations are interesting ones, right? Mm-hmm. Not only in the sense of maybe jiu-jitsu, but of life itself, because you guys, as you go into these academies, you start training with these people, you start hearing about people's ways of life and how jiu-jitsu has made their life better. it could be from techniques to whatever the case may be, but the point or the goal, right, is to kind of give these athletes and these academy owners a platform where they can distinguish themselves and we can have a conversation about jiu-jitsu and just have it recorded so that people can listen to it. You know what I mean? I'm sure it's happened to you guys when you have a guest on from a jiu-jitsu academy or an athlete. The story's never the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I always start with the same question. Also, well, how did you get into jiu-jitsu? That question alone expands in so many different directions, and it becomes something that's extremely interesting to listen to. You know what I mean?
When we were talking before the podcast, when I started, I was never like a huge podcast guy.
Yeah.
I was listening to a little bit of Rogan.
Right.
I actually like listening to Rogan's, like the stuff with the comedians.
I
will at home. I will just put on Netflix and just play like comedy shows in the background.
Right.
I just love to laugh. I think it's incredibly healthy.
Right.
I don't like depressing shit.
Yeah.
Especially with some of the things that we have to deal with, especially now with Academy Safety. Like you're talking about dark stuff, so I want I want to hear comedy. I want to laugh. I want that serotonin, right? I want that release of serotonin in my brain. I wasn't somebody who listened to a ton of podcasts, but I listened to the ones with the comedians,
right?
And sometimes the MMA ones when he started kind of numbering them.
I'm kind of like
so like I'll watch those. I'm not so into the ones that get into like science and, and stuff. So
they're just too hard to listen to.
Yeah, but like I need fun.
Yeah.
I want to feed that little thing in my brain. I want to laugh. I want to smile.
Right.
I work enough that I need that. It feeds
it's
my
like
soul.
a good break.
Like I don't want to. I was joking with somebody the other day. Like it's Christmas time. Like we're gonna start seeing those Publix commercials that make you cry.
Yeah.
Right. Like I cry at those commercials. I've full disclosure.
They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing.
I went to the movies. on last week, and there's a fucking Volvo commercial. Me and the girl that I was with, we both started crying. We were both trying to hide that we were crying.
That's a good commercial.
The whole commercial was like about like raising this daughter. Like they barely showed the car. Look up this commercial. Just look up the Volvo commercial.
Is she playing like a guitar?
I don't even. It was so freaking long, and I was like paying it more. Like, I swear to God, I was like,
my wife sent me that
this. I was like this. I'm like, and then I look over, and she's just like. And I'm like, good, because I can't keep on hiding this.
Dude, I think my wife sent me that
I'm that
one.
guy.
It was rough, dude. Dude.
Thai commercials are the most gut-wrenching, emotional commercials ever.
Like what? Like give me an example.
So there's this one little girl on the street with her mom. Mom's begging for money. Guy gives her 100 baht, which is like $3. And as he does it, this little girl runs up, "Mommy, I'm done with school." And she's got her little uniform. I take it back. That's like after he's given her money a bunch of times.
Yeah.
He sees and he's like, "Oh," and he starts being more helpful. And then it flashes and he's old and he has a heart attack. And just by chance, the doctor that saves him is that little girl.
Got me.
And she remembers him. Bro, I remember tearing up seeing that like pre-parenthood.
Yeah.
Dude. If I smell that commercial, I'm a mess.
Yeah, you have kids, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, when you have kids, those commercials turn into another level.
I used to be so tough.
Right?
I was tough. I was cool.
I'm never crying at this.
Now I'm a big whiny bitch.
Dude, I got 4 kids. I get that.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I cry at. I don't care. I have nothing to lose. I'm not trying to impress anybody.
But was that always like that, or was there like a moment that as you got older, you're like?
I think it was
the second you have a kid.
It's the kids,
the
dude.
kids.
Especially
that's the genesis.
Especially I think if it's a girl. I think if I had a son, it wouldn't be the
dude,
same.
100% it's the girl.
I had a girl. Oh my god! I was just like,
dude, I have 3 boys, but now that I see those commercials with the girl, it's next level, bro.
Like, Saving Private Ryan. You've seen Saving Private Ryan?
Love that movie.
Okay, so if you watch that movie the first time and you watch the opening scene and you don't know who that is yet, and you watch the whole movie, right? And there's a point where you might cry at the end, like, oh, and then you find out it's him.
Right.
Watch that movie again, going into it knowing who he is.
Yeah.
I'm crying during that scene. I'm tearing. I'm not like, falling apart. I'm tearing up because now I already know that that's him. Yeah. And I love that movie. That's like one of my top 5 movies.
No, it's a great movie.
I'm already tear in my eye. Now I can't watch it with anybody because you got to hold that. So watch that movie by yourself.
A Private Ryan night?
Yeah.
Are we talking about Saving Ryan's Private?
Yeah. No,
that's a different level.
That might be you. Where did you say those commercials play? That might be from there. But yeah, I'll watch that. There's like movies that I'll watch like sometimes you got a little something in you. You're like, you got to get at, like, that's a movie that I'll put on and be like, all right, let me let
that's
that
a good
tear
choice,
out,
man. But you know what?
Die Hard 2?
That is a Christmas movie, though. Die Hard is definitely a Christmas
They
movie.
all are.
Yeah. I'm seeing all
It's
those
the
memes
only
lately.
good Christmas movie. It's the only one.
Well, are they like the first two both during Christmas?
They're
Were
all
they-
during Christmas.
Oh, they're all
Yeah,
during
yeah.
They
Christmas?
all
Oh, that
take
was-
place at the Christmas party of whatever business his wife
they all-
works at.
they all
Which,
take
let's be frank, if you've been at 4 terrorist takeovers and 4 Christmas parties, bitch, you can't work here. Fuck out. Are you gonna bring your gun-wielding husband to shoot up my office?
Probably not a
Get
good
bent.
idea.
I can Google you, bitch. Go.
No Christmas party for you. Those are done.
I forgot where we were when we got onto the crying stuff. Where were we on the crying
No,
stuff?
no, that's
When
fine.
I started to tell you guys I'm a crybaby.
I don't know. I was asking if that was something that happened recently that you started to get like emotional over the movies, or was that always your whole entire life?
No, that's definitely after having a kid. I can go back and think about like any movie. There was a movie with
Dude.
Michael Keaton. Do you remember Michael Keaton? He
Yeah.
has cancer. Is it called Myself?
Batman 1?
No. I was a mess. As soon as he put on the mask. There's a movie with Michael Keaton. Somebody look this up. Can somebody Google this real quick? There's
Michael Keaton?
Michael Keaton. It's a movie where he has cancer. Just Google that real quick.
The one where he clones himself a bunch?
So he winds up recording himself. So his wife he's got cancer. My Life.
Never heard of it.
Watch that movie as a parent. Just watch it by
I
yourself.
don't
though.
want to.
No, because you might hold back, like if somebody else is in the room.
Yeah, for sure,
Just
dude.
watch it by yourself.
For sure.
Just watch it by yourself. That was the first movie that I remember. My daughter was born.
Yeah.
I watched that movie. Now he's finds out he has cancer. I think he finds out he has cancer first.
Right.
They're talking about treatments and trying to get and then his wife gets pregnant. So he's going to treatment, he's going to
Jesus
alternative
Christ.
medicine. So then
I'm
he gets
not watching this fucking
so then
movie.
then the wife gets pregnant. Who's the wife is Tom Cruise's ex-wife, the redhead.
Oh, I don't remember. I'm horrible with names.
That one. Got it.
Nicole Kidman. So she plays the wife. So now he knows he's going to die. He's terminal. He's going to die and he knows it. And they're still getting treatments and stuff like that. So he starts recording videos for his unborn child.
Dude.
And I think that they
Dude,
know
just
it's a boy.
stop. I'm going to cry on this fucking
Yeah.
podcast. Just chill out.
So yeah. This is when did this not like we stopped talking about jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
So he winds up
Arm barring his
recording.
baby.
He chokes his baby out. So he
That's
winds
what I'm
up.
talking about.
He's doing
Now you
things.
watch it.
He's teaching. Again, he has to know it's a boy because he's teaching. He's doing videos. He's teaching his
Oh,
son how to
dude.
shave.
That's
He's
heavy.
teaching him how to cook. He's like, this is how you cook when you're
Dude, cut.
like
dude.
cooking pasta for.
I don't want to talk about this no more.
Dude, that's heavy.
You cannot. You will not. Again, you have to watch it by yourself because I think you'd hold back if your wife is in the room or
Yeah,
somebody
dude,
else in the room.
100%.
You'll
Are we talking
just
about
like
crying or masturbating?
Crying.
That's on the same. That's the same treatment. You can't.
What if you cry while you masturbate?
Well,
You use
might
the
cry.
tears. You use the tears.
Just watch that movie. I'll leave it there. Watch it. He does those videos and he's leaving them for.
Dude, I
his
can't
child.
watch
It's
A movie that makes me emotional in front of my wife. She'll kick my ass.
Yeah.
Like my wife trains, so it's like I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
let her know. That makes me
she'll
feel
be a
emotional.
mess too. She'll be a mess too.
Oh, okay,
But
okay.
I can remember that movie. I go, why am I getting? And I realized it was just like I can relate to this. I
Right.
have a child now, and I was young. I was a dad at 20.
Yeah, me too.
I was living at home with my parents, and I'm having a kid.
Dude,
You
same
guys are
thing.
nuts.
Yeah,
I was
same
dead
thing.
at 38, and I'm like, this. I wasn't ready.
Too old.
Too early. What's going on?
Yeah, dude. I had a kid at 22, and then I had one recently 10 months ago. 10 months ago.
Really?
I have 4.
What ages? What? So 10 months
So
and
12, 13, and then 2-year-old.
Wait,
and 10
12.
months.
You have 3?
I have 4.
12 and
3 boys.
13-year-old.
Yeah, 12, and then another one's 13, and then I have a 2-year-old and a 10-month-year-old.
So okay, all this same wife.
Like two
same
sets
Yeah,
of
one,
Irish
one
twins?
is like the
Separated by
older
10
ones have
years?
were brought in from a different.
We're bought.
We purchased them.
Listen,
Listen,
you
eBay had a great deal.
Listen, we're gonna have to add that to Academy Safe. Have you bought any children online?
Damn it, I can't. Yeah, they were cheap on eBay, so we had to take it in. No, I'm just kidding. So from previous marriages.
Both
yeah,
of you
the
had
older
one.
ones, right?
You both
But
had one.
I raised
Okay.
both of them. They're my kids.
Okay.
Right? So
All right, gotcha.
so then I have the one that's 2 years and 10 months, and then the girl's the youngest one.
Does everybody train jiu-jitsu, or the older ones train
The
jiu-jitsu?
older ones train with me. One, I mean, I let them kind of figure it out themselves. One's really good at it, but it's not his thing yet. And I think when they get to that age that they're teenagers,
Yeah,
they kind of
they're gonna fade away from it.
fade away, but then they come back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It happened to me when I was in judo. It's the same
Well,
thing.
I've heard I probably really got this from the Grace. He's talking about it that
Yeah.
12 to 16 is where you've got to like push them to go.
Right.
if you're going to push them, that's the time you have to push them because it's phones, girls, boys, you know, the dating, just lots of distraction that can pull them away. Where probably till up at 12, they just do it because that's what they have to do. Oh, I go to jiu-jitsu after school. This is just what we do. Yeah,
it's the age that they're like the identity is kind of like an issue.
I mean, I could say I don't want to go.
Right.
And they gonna have to either force
not in this house.
Yeah,
you're going.
Look, I only have a daughter, and I was really
How
worried. She'll be 5 in January.
Okay.
She just started training this year. She's still in like the play class. You know?
Yeah.
But like, I was super glad my wife was on board because I was worried she wouldn't be. But I was like, no matter what age, where you are, if you live in this house, you will train twice a week. And there's only one reason. Boys are fucking scumbags. And like the kids you see growing up, you watch the news. Hell, we've talked about Academy Safe for 45 minutes. Like my wife is that she's like, she has to train because if something goes wrong, she has to at least be like somewhat able to handle herself.
Right.
Like she's like, she should know how to hold a guard.
Is the rule for the child or is the rule for the family? So does your wife also train and she's required to train twice a
My
week?
wife is more getting into fitness.
Okay.
She doesn't necessarily have the hours that we keep classes are like the parenting hours.
Right.
And if I'm teaching, well,
Dude,
it gets a little
100%.
difficult.
That's definitely an issue. Like those hours that you have to train with like, for example, I was training at one gym, great gym. It's Carlson Gracie, the one in Miami. We were training at that, but then we had the 2 kids. Yeah. And it was impossible for us to go to the night classes. Like,
so belt rank?
I'm a brown belt.
Brown belt. Not a gym owner?
No
gym owner.
No gym
Student?
owner.
Do you coach at all?
I used to coach a little bit, but I stopped coaching because it requires a lot of time.
So now you're like, you're all going to the same school? So like they're training like before you, like a lot of times that happens, right? They train before you and then you stick around for the adult class.
So it was like that at some point that we were going to the Carlson Gracie, the one in Miami. But the schedule happened that we had the 2-year-old and the 10-month-year-old pretty close together, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they were great.
You couldn't keep your hands off.
Irish
huh?
twins.
Dude, we didn't have TV for a very long time. Okay, don't blame us.
Netflix is a new thing.
Netflix is new. Now we have TVs in all the rooms.
Too much Netflix.
The show was
Too
not
much
chilling.
Netflix.
There was no chilling.
There was no chilling. Yeah, so we went there for a while, but they were great. They would take care of the baby when we only had the 2-year-old. But when we had the other one, there was no way that we could switch out and do it. So we had to find a new place to train. I was already training at Ground Game Theory, so we decided to go to Ground Game Theory, which is a great spot out of Miami. But it's we train there, so I can go in the morning, right? Or my wife can go in the morning, and I can go midday at my lunch break.
Okay.
And then at night we can have the kids train.
Lunch break from what? What do you do?
From where I'm a data scientist.
Okay.
With a
fancy. We had a smart guy on. I didn't even know.
Well, I wasn't that. I just
would have
became
changed my language.
Yeah, right. Who would have cleaned up a little bit?
No, I mean, don't. Because look
just
at me. I fit in a large now. Apparently, that's what people are telling me. So there's no reason to.
Homie said you was thick.
I'm thick. I'm definitely a muffin top dude. It's all good.
I love muffins.
So your wife trains?
Yeah,
Did
my
you
wife
meet
trains
her?
and competes.
This is the part that I like to ask is, did you meet on the mat?
No.
Did you
Tinder.
one of you start?
For real?
Were you
Nice.
both doing jiu-jitsu already, or did she start
No,
jiu-jitsu
I started
after
jiu-jitsu
you?
before. I was doing jiu-jitsu. I've been grappling since I was very young.
Bro, you know his
Grappling-
first Tinder picture was just him holding a belt.
Yeah,
And a fish.
Purple.
and a fish. And a fish at the same time.
One in each hand.
No. So I was. I've been training since I was very young. I started judo first because in Puerto Rico there was no jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
Like there was traditional jiu-jitsu, but there was no Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
You know what I
So
mean?
when you say traditional jiu-jitsu, is it like more of like the Japanese
Right.
ninjutsu kind of stuff? Like
Very similar.
Actual striking.
Exactly.
I mean,
Very
it is the father to judo, which
Right.
is the father to
100%.
Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
And the thing with that jiu-jitsu aspect of the traditional jiu-jitsu is that it breaks off in so many different types of jiu-jitsu that it doesn't, like the core concepts that are important to all of us. Like in jiu-jitsu, we have these core concepts that are important, right? Leverage, the positioning, control, whatever, the distance, all that stuff is important in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. But traditional jiu-jitsu kind of breaks off and it becomes kind of like, I don't want to say all of them, but there are schools that are kind of like fantasy or whatever. So my dad put me in judo.
Fantasy.
Is that the one where you get to
Fantasy.
bang your students' wives?
Whoa. That's called jiu-jitsu? I
think we're going to wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen.
So,
We said fantasy. What?
well, fantasy, what word should I use? I mean, I guess.
No, I mean like not realistic.
Yeah.
Not like it's the
That's
you're
fantasy.
talking about.
That's fantasy?
Yeah,
It's this shit.
I'm with you. I'm just playing with you. I get it. Yeah, no. I mean, again, McDojo.
Yeah.
I mean, I see all that stuff.
Dude,
and-
that guy knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
you know what I
no,
mean?
it's just
Big
like-
time.
Dude, 100%.
Did you see?
the
Have you seen
Systema
the new
videos?
ones with like they're I guess that these are promotions and they take the kid's head and they're like slamming it into the blocks, and
Dude,
or into the fire, like the blocks are on fire.
Or
and
the
Wild.
choke slam guy.
Oh, I've seen that one. I've seen that one.
you ever see the
that's
guy
crazy.
do the guy doing the judo throws?
That
and he's
doesn't
just,
do it
like,
correctly.
slamming
Like
the
he's
little
not doing
kid.
he's not doing it right, and he's doing full force.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Which
to
is
a little
worse.
kid.
That's
my God.
that's crazy.
That kid has to
I
be
did
broken.
promotions at my gym last night. Everyone that got belts, and it's like a little foot sweeping you,
Yeah.
hold them down.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I loved the gauntlet. I don't know how you guys feel about the gauntlet. When I was coming up,
Whoever
I
likes it, likes it.
loved the gauntlet.
Like
I
going
loved
through it.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
We just did the gauntlet at our promotion night
So-
last Monday.
Yeah.
I've had it and I've removed it, and I knew the guys I was promoting yesterday wanted it just through conversation. So I just kind of, hey, I did this. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
If you guys want to do it, we'll do it.
That's
if
a
you
good
don't,
option.
we
Yeah.
won't.
Yeah.
And like at first 3 of the guys were like, hell yeah. And we had a girl, 16, got her green belt, and she was like, I don't know. But she ended up doing it. And you get what you want out of it, right?
Yeah.
The big guys that talk a lot of trash got cracked.
100%.
And when the
right.
6-year-old went through, everyone just fluffed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
That's a good
Who's
gym.
whacking a 6? Okay, her brother. Her brother hit him pretty hard.
Yeah, but he has a brother card. He can do that. It's okay.
Everyone else was like,
I
I'm so sorry.
Oh, sorry.
I did it in my first school. It was at my first school 2 years. My second school, we didn't do the gauntlet. It was just never a thing. This was the first promotion that I've been at this new
At
school
black belt?
now. What do you mean?
When you got your black belt, you got through the
No. I got my black belt at the old school.
Okay,
with
okay.
with the bad boy.
The bad boy.
I never did a gauntlet at the old school. So 8 years at
Oh,
my
so you
previous
lucked
school.
out.
Never did the gauntlet. Yeah, never did it. I did it at white and blue at my first school.
Okay.
I got a blue belt. I was a 2-stripe blue belt when he closed. So we even did it because it was a small school. So we would even do it for stripes. Like if you got a stripe that day.
Oh, dude.
And it was just like 6 guys. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not like, and then the coach would really get like laid on us.
Right.
like tying a knot
I
in my
can
belt.
say before, like, so I'm going to give you like the honest answer. I've always been a big guy. I'm a little chubby. Not the biggest fan of taking off my shirt and
Yeah.
walking bare chested through a line of people.
Right.
I think at my first school, we always left our rash guard on. So I was like, okay,
Yeah,
not bad.
That's fair enough.
I think as like somebody that, like is a chunky guy,
Yeah.
taking off I was less worried about getting hit than I was about, man, I'm embarrassed being a fat
the
guy.
rash
walking
guard
around the
on.
line,
Yeah.
Just keep the
So
rash guard
in my
on.
school, we just did it. Everybody kept their rash guards on. Nobody took off their shirt. Some people got whacked. I was like
The guy that goes too hard all the time gets crushed.
I was across from one of the professors. Like he was on one side and I was on another.
He's just
And
cranking it back.
He got like the best sounding slap of the night on one. I was just like,
But that's the reward.
my butthole clinched up, and I even said to him later, I'm like, wow, you good at this, huh?
Been doing
like
it for
he-
years.
Oh, 35
It's like
years of practice,
perfectly
bro.
read.
I'm going to whip him. I'm going to whip him, porra.
I was just like, wow, man. Thank God. I don't think we sent one guy one guy was a black belt who got a stripe, so he went through it too. So I guess So black belts when I get my first stripe, I'll go through it.
There you go.
But
That's gonna be
I
fun.
can't say I was ever the biggest fan of it. I get it. They said the same thing, like, hey, you don't have to go through the gauntlet if you don't want.
Right. The
There
option's
was nobody that stood off to the side. You don't want to be the one guy.
Right.
That says,
I'm
no.
not gonna
We
do
had
it.
and we had a lot of promotions. I mean, there was probably like 20 plus promotions.
And how many people
You know.
were on the line? Like,
I mean, we had a lot of people.
That's
I mean,
important, the line.
We had almost 20 black belts just alone on top of the class and no kids, but there were some kids that got promoted into like blue belts and
Right.
They're 16 and they got like green belts and things like that. So it was a lot of people. There had to have been north of 50, 60 people in
that's
the
a
mat.
huge lot.
So yeah, so it was just a lot of people.
Dude.
But I mean, so many of them got promoted that there was so many people coming through the line.
Right,
too,
right,
so.
right, right.
But yeah, I can say I wasn't the biggest fan of it. But again, I've seen probably more than been at the places
Right.
where like everybody is winding up and taking the biggest whack at people, and I'm like, I don't know what purpose that.
I always looked at it like, so I've been in both scenarios where like you have only the people that are higher ranked than you, and then everybody, small school, big school.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I noticed like, especially when I'm getting like my black belt, all the other black belts are like, you ain't sitting today.
Yeah.
Come get it, And then when you're dealing with like all the ranks, the people that are above you, but you're given a hard time, they're doubling down.
Yeah.
And then the white belts that you sharpen your finishes on, they're either gonna go like, "Hey, I didn't hit you hard. Please don't hurt me," or they're gonna be like, "Fuck you."
It's one time I have.
Yeah, this is my moment.
But they usually don't.
That's
That's
a
like
payback.
when it's their first couple of times and they don't have a good wind up. And
Yeah.
they're like so they don't really hit you hard. You know when you get to the black belt. So
Yeah,
it's
they've
just
been
like,
doing it.
There's like they've got it wrapped perfectly around
Right.
their hand. Like there's some guys that like I just doubled it up and like grabbed it
Yeah.
in half. And then there's some guys that like they've wrapped it around their
Right,
hand a few
right.
times and they've just got like the two like they're just
And they know where to hit.
They got it. They've got it down. They'll come out to the line and like line up.
Right.
So I was like listen, I don't mind. I didn't have to go through it, so I don't care.
Yeah.
I was on there. I didn't hit anybody too hard.
Right.
But
I mean,
what's
that's
up? We're good.
My ears are dead.
Oh.
Oh, they're back now.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't mind it, but if I was running a school, I don't know that I would do it.
I mean, it makes sense to. I mean, it's all
I
up to
cut
the
it out
school,
for
right?
5 years.
Yeah.
Because I did one and I was like, hey, if you guys want to do it, and everyone said no. And then I just chatted. It was like, why? I'm like, cool, no problem.
Right.
Like, just because I liked it, it's a different time.
The thing is
You
that
know?
some people will take it overboard, man. Just
Definitely.
like, you know what I mean?
So aside from the personal side of it, like again,
You're like a stripper.
Oh, hey.
You're naked.
I don't. I
actually
didn't. From a business perspective, as a school owner, you're just gonna have parents that are gonna be like, I don't want my kids going.
Oh,
that.
kids,
I
no.
don't-
Yeah,
Like,
of
I don't
course.
think I
No,
do
no,
that
no,
for kids.
No, but
Right.
there are
I'll
people
choke
that,
slam a kid, though.
there are parents that have a 16-year-old that's just going, getting their blue, or
Right.
and I don't know that they won't really love that. I don't know that they see it. They're not, maybe if they're not doing jiu-jitsu, they don't
Yeah.
get the camaraderie and the
Right.
and the brotherhood or the sisterhood.
Let's
that
call it
brings,
what it is. Trauma bonding.
Yeah.
That's what it is. We're trauma bonding.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we're already in a crazy sport where we're
No, but that
we're
perspective makes
simulating
sense.
murder, right?
That makes
we're
sense.
simulating
Like
murder.
from an outsider, even if from that perspective that you're giving right now, it makes a lot of sense. You know what I mean? If they don't know and they have been around the sport, that can look really weird.
Does your school do it now? Do you,
I'm mostly a no-gi school.
No-gi, okay.
You know what I mean? I don't know if they do it at Daniel Perez where I do gi, but I go. No, what are they gonna hit me with? The rash guards?
Yeah.
So
They flip it inside out and use that rubber lining so it sticks to your skin.
I've seen the what do they? Some schools do like a judo throw, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was when
I think it's when you go overboard that's the issue.
The
you know what I mean?
overboard's always the issue.
Yeah.
Like I was brought up when you get a belt, all the black belts get to throw you.
There's always
Great.
one. There's
Yeah,
always
like
one. Though, right?
Yeah.
my very
Right.
first time, I went to one of my coach's promotions, and this girl was getting a blue belt, and I underestimated how small versus how big I am, and I was working on a Yoko Tomonage, and dude, she spun 3 times and almost headbutted me on the landing, and I was like, and I barely did it because she's small, we're just gonna plop. Holy shit!
Okay, so it's the overboard and the miscalculations that are a problem.
Yeah, and I felt horrible. Enough so that we actually became friends because I was like, oh my God, are you okay? I launched you
I'm
so
sorry.
bad.
I'm sorry.
I could see, like, I get the difference between if you're at an academy that's like a straight up competition academy, people are there to train and compete, and or you're in an MMA academy where it's just like you kind of want the toughest of the tough, and if somebody like me is going, I don't want to take my shirt off. Yeah, I'm probably not the right guy for that gym.
No,
you
that
know?
was me.
Right?
It's
So
totally, it's fine.
I get that.
It
I'm
works.
not
types.
stupid. I'm an older guy. I do this for me. I make no apologies for anything I say that, he's not tough. I don't really give. I'm doing this for me.
Right.
This is for me. This isn't for you guys.
Yeah.
I was even telling somebody about the podcast. I'm like, this podcast has become totally for me.
Yeah.
This is my favorite day of the week. I get to talk to cool people about jiu-jitsu.
Right.
This feeds my soul.
Yeah.
I'm working, but it's kind of like a day off.
Yeah, I
right.
get you.
Like I couldn't do anything more fun than do jiu-jitsu.
Right.
If I can't do it, I'm going to talk about it. I'm like, this is all for me, and I don't have to apologize to
No, of course.
Right. So jiu-jitsu's for me. I really give my honest assessment of like, yeah, man, I was chunky most of my always just like a big dude. Even if I worked out, I was always chunky. I'm not running around with my shirt in the fucking academy in front of people,
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm honest about that, but I don't really, it. But I do believe, like, yeah, if I was at an academy that was training, or if I ran an academy and it was just like these guys are competing and they're fighting, or like I heard you. I would listen to one of your podcasts, and you had Laz on, a guy named Laz.
Yeah, that's Amado.
And it was your last podcast. You were talking about like John Way, right? Like John Way,
Yeah.
Booyah, right? He's
Right.
part of Ghost Squad
Right,
and
yes.
that association. I think you guys are kind of like
John White runs
yeah,
a hell of a
Laz,
gym.
right?
Yeah.
His gym is fantastic.
Yeah, he's got so much going on. He's got a great crew he runs. I'm
Super
sure
nice
you
guy,
guys
too.
see him.
He's the one who connected me to you.
You comment.
Oh, John?
So you
Yeah.
commentate at some of those
Combat
events,
night.
and you
Yeah, yeah.
comment right? So
Oh,
so
you
I
do
know
the
that.
comment. You do the comment?
Yep.
Comment
That's
night?
him,
That didn't they do it recently? Like recently
Yep.
in Miami? That was
No, it was Fort Pierce. I did the main events because I'm also a high-end cut man. So I was in the back wrapping fighters, and I ran out and did the co-main and main for the amateurs and the last 4 for the pros.
Yeah, I've been listening to you.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Welcome. This is Ben. Ben, this is
Hi.
this is Kakike. Right there. So like if it's at that level, like again, you were mentioning those guys, like I could see it when like, okay, listen, you have an MMA team and it's maybe like, again, like you got to separate the men from the boys in some cases. Like I get it in that.
But the training will do it itself.
Like, I'm a hobbyist.
Yeah, but
I consider myself a hobbyist. I'm training 2-3 days a week.
You're a black belt. You're not really a hobbyist anymore.
Well, thank you. I've been doing this long enough that it's a lot of fucking hours on the mat.
Yeah.
Again, for me, if I was running a school, I would probably differentiate it between that. Seeing how my school just did it and going, okay, like I've seen it mostly online.
Yeah.
Where like people are like going crazy.
Yeah,
and like they're purposely
that's
showing them
unnecessary.
because like they show how. Like,
But that's also the ones you're
it's
going to
like,
see.
Yeah, that's
Like a nice, friendly gauntlet's like, hey, look how classy this school's hitting their kids.
Right.
Yeah.
Hitting their kids.
I'm not
One
so,
sentence.
I'm
Classy
not
hitting
so
their kids
opposed
is
to
really.
it.
I love how you strutted that sentence out there.
Not so opposed to it after seeing how my school did. Okay, like nobody was a dick. Nobody really went crazy.
Yeah.
There's a couple of nice hard
You also
shots
gotta
to the
question
right
your
person.
community, right?
Yeah.
Like,
So-
what kind of room do you have?
Yeah, it depends
Like-
on the room 100%.
Yeah, some rooms there's a room full of bullies. I'm the alpha. No, and that's going to be a problem.
You'll definitely
But
see
like
rooms.
we got like a family environment. We're doing barbecues,
Right,
we're hanging out,
yeah.
watching fights.
That's
No one's
different.
trying to hurt anybody.
Yeah.
Do you guys follow
just for the fun of it.
that at BJJEE? It's like the Eastern
Yeah,
European.
Yeah, dude.
Big time.
I've talked to that guy a long time ago. Like when it started.
So did you see the recent story? It's probably going back a couple of weeks now, where the mat enforcer, like I think,
Yeah, it was
broke
at
somebody's neck
Keenan's
or
gym.
spine or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Keenan
What, all I know is the
Allegiance.
mat enforcer hurt someone, and
And is
Keenan was
known-
making comments.
and is known for kind of hurting
Legions?
students. And no, not Keenan. I'm just saying that mat enforcer
Yeah.
at Keenan Cornelius's gym
Right.
is kind of known for being the mat enforcer and having hurt people previously. I honestly didn't read the whole article.
Yeah.
I saw the blurb. I
Yeah, I
went to
saw
the
it
article
too.
real quick. I looked at it. I'm like, well, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
But
I mean, at the
I-
same time,
I
if
get
you have
that.
a mat enforcer in your school, like, which you should have somebody that can regulate, but it's not to injure somebody, and that's also
So-
on the instructor, right?
I can say that at my first school, I was definitely, besides the coach,
Yeah.
I was definitely the mat enforcer.
Now
but I
I'm
was
never
like
rolling with you.
but I was like I was like a white
I'm
belt and
kidding,
blue
I'm
belt,
kidding.
but like, right? Like I'm helping train like these new guys. But usually the mat enforcer comes into play when like somebody visited.
Right.
They're
And
being
is starting to
dick.
beat up on our guys.
Right.
I was even at my second school, I was like that. I remember one time they were like, the coaches were like,
Take care
you know,
of
like
it.
roll with this guy because
Yeah.
he's probably gonna hurt, like just,
Take care of it.
and like watch and be like, and I would be like, I remember looking at the female coach. This guy was from Brazil, blue belt, and I was just like, I even said he barely understood English, so I said to her, I go, "Are you guys setting me up here or something? Is this guy really a black belt?" Because he was like straight out of Brazil, spoke no English. So I'm like, I thought they wanted me to roll with him kind of because he was like
Good.
they were messing with me that he was higher than a blue belt.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
kind of where I thought.
Mhm.
And then I looked at them and she was just like, she's like making these hand gestures and we understood each other. And then he started to go really hard and I went like this to her. And she goes, and then I turned it on. Like, so
Right.
like I was that guy. 'Cause if I was a bigger guy and that bigger guy came in, they used to joke
Right.
around and say, look, we found him on Amazon Prime for you. Like, hey, we do special delivery just for you because it'd be a bigger guy.
Yeah.
So I was always like, if a bigger guy walked through the door, they were like, no, go. And then we got bigger guys, and then it was like,
Right.
I didn't have to be
You
the
didn't
guy
have to do
all
it
the time.
anymore.
Yeah. And it was like, hey, throw that big white belt at that guy. That's Spazzy white belt.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think mat enforcers is something? Well, the term mat enforcer is somebody that needs to be in the. It's good to have somebody that's like that. in
I
the gym?
think people are going to think twice about calling somebody a mat enforcer now. If I don't know how much trouble they're going to get into, if there's going to be a lawsuit or anything like
Yeah,
that. But
yeah.
I mean, I think this guy actually like. Did he break his back or
I
neck
don't
or
know.
something like? It was a serious injury.
Mm.
I think people are going to be a little wary. I think
He's
these
going
things,
that $428 million.
Well,
Just like
what
that
happened?
last.
40,
remember
well, the 49 million was
was
the
it
last
49?
one. 49 million.
Yeah, like-
Wait, what happened?
when one of the Gracie guys went to court and testified, that guy got like $49 or $50 million.
$49
Oh, from the forward
Yeah.
roll and the crack.
Like,
yeah.
My understanding, like you had different levels of mat enforcer, also different eras.
That's
You
true.
remember, I started in
That's also true. The
2001.
errors, yeah.
I started 2001 with almost an entirely old school Carlson Gracie Brazilian team. Mat enforcer was a different meaning.
Yeah.
Nowadays, like I've had it. So I had on my fight team. This is probably 3-4 years ago. We had a guy. We had group sparring. So it was civilians, hobbyists, fighters. And we did our best to kind of segregate, but there's always crossover. And most of the fighters aren't morons. They go, oh, you're a civilian, you're a rest round, I'll work on defense or like really good jab work, but I'm not going to bang you up because what good is that?
Right.
And we had a guy.
What you train with?
He was sparring with a 67-year-old man. Granted, he was a rugby player, 6'5", 270 pounds. Like even at 67 was big wave surfing. Like he's a dude.
He was doing big wave surfing at 67?
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Wild man. But they're sparring, and this 20-something's like serving him hands. So my fighter comes up to me and goes, Coach, I don't like how he's treating Mr. Robert. Can I go with him next? I'm like, yeah, do whatever you got to do. Because this 20-year-old's fucking up an old man.
Yeah.
So my guy went in and did exactly what I want him to. Crack him with a handful of jabs, be like, you're acting very rudely.
Yeah.
Put a right hand on him. What do you mean? Bang. Like, hey, like he's not brutalizing him. He's not bloodying him.
Right.
Yeah.
But he's like, there's levels to this, and I know you feel like you can get over, but please understand that there's always a repercussion. So keep yourself in check.
Right.
Sure.
But when it passes that line to like, I can be vindictive, or look, ooh, I got a green light to fuck this dude. That's when you have problems. That's when people get hurt.
Yeah, 100%.
The first time I stepped into a ring to do kickboxing, just training. You're probably not going to know this from Miami. Maybe do you remember Strike Fit in Deerfield? Not in Deerfield. That's like like it's Deerfield. It was on the border of Deerfield on Hillsborough.
I know the name.
There were a couple of pro fighters. There was I forget what his name is. There was a pro fighter that was a partner there, but it was called Strike Fit. So it was just like I used to call
it.
it
Powerline in Hillsborough.
It was on 441 in Hillsborough.
Yeah, by the movie theater.
In the Kohl's shopping center. It was like this big shopping center. So anyway, they started doing some amateur fights
with underground fighting.
They did some. They had like you walked in and there was a ring right there on the side. It was kind of like I used to call it like CrossFit for boxing. Like so, it was like CrossFit but minus the weights.
Right.
So it'd be like run around the building, do some push-ups. Do like really intense, like high intensity, hit training, but
did
centered around boxing.
Show, right?
Yeah,
they did a kickboxing show in their gym.
What do you mean show?
Like they had fights in their gym.
Yeah.
I definitely think I've been there. I filmed a movie there.
So
I was refereeing an underground fight club.
Dude, your life.
So,
I've done a lot of shit.
So we get in the ring and I'm going to spar with a very young kid, half my age, but he is an amateur fighter. He is taking fights. He wants to be a pro fighter.
Yeah.
And we start sparring, hits me with an uppercut. I didn't fall down, completely see stars, and the coach just yells, "Hey, stop!" And he's like, "I fucking told you, stop treating people." Like, I was like, the first time I'm ever in that ring.
Yeah.
We sparred a little bit, but like light sparring,
Right.
This is like, okay, now we're gonna do sparring rounds. I'm like, I'm all right, let's go do it. I'm down with it. I saw stars, and I was lucky that I was like by the rope. So like I grabbed the rope, and I'm just like this, like, what just happened?
Yep.
And he gets yelled at, and he's like, "Get out!" And
of course, there's no reason for.
So like, it's and he's like, "Oh man, but what did I do?" Like it's like you know what you
know exactly what you did.
You just teed up this old man, and now like I haven't always looked at my age, so he might have thought I was younger, but still, he knows I'm not a pro fighter. He knows I'm like, I'm in there freaking with the fucking chicks that are doing like that are doing dance fighting over there on the side, hitting the bags, So I'm like, come on, you know,
I'm the dance fighter here, bro.
Yeah, you knew what you were doing. You're gonna tee up. You're gonna practice.
And you gave your balls a tug real quick. And you're like, I can be a man.
Yeah, that's.
I remember that. So I was like, oh boy, man, what did I get? But everybody else was pretty cool. But there was a couple of guys that were amateur fighters that would fight at that gym, and they knew.
There's people that take it on, like they take it out on you. You know what I mean?
That was right before they were doing jiu-jitsu, and I used to watch the jiu-jitsu class, but I didn't have the balls to do the jiu-jitsu yet.
That was before you started jiu-jitsu?
That was before I started jiu-jitsu.
So you started kickboxing first?
I started...
that one uppercut, and he's like, grappling.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
And then a family friend opened a gym, and I was just like, man, I've wanted to do jiu-jitsu so bad. I wrestled a little bit in like junior high, so I kind of like felt like I was like, okay, I know what I'm getting into. Yeah. I'm not worried about guys sweating on me. Like all that was like, I was a huge UFC fan, so I'm like, come on, I want to get on. And he opened up a gym. We traded marketing services for. I never paid him a dime. I was there for 2 years. Traded, like I built his website, helped with marketing. I
I love
run the
bartering.
classes.
Keep
and then,
the man out of my fucking bank.
Yeah.
Barter.
I wound up getting into jiu-jitsu. We did actually kickboxing there. So we had like, what is it typically like Tuesday, Thursdays
Right.
would be like no gi.
Yeah.
So it would be like a stand-up class, and then we would do MMA. So now you
Right.
could use your takedowns, get into jiu-jitsu, but have your gloves on. And
That's how a lot of
fight.
those MMA schools were started, right? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember like when I started, I've been grappling 16 years, but jiu-jitsu and that area was like in 2008, 2009. And a lot of those schools were set up like that. There was like no gi, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Monday, Wednesday, Friday, gi or
Mhm.
whatever.
Yeah.
And then
It's still a lot of gyms like that. On
Like I
Tuesday.
started in 01.
Yeah.
And our first gym, we shared a gym with this Chilean judo Olympian. So
Gallo?
oh,
I don't remember his name.
it was like 2001.
Okay.
He didn't speak any English. He just had unbelievable judo.
Yeah.
This was down in like 441 in Atlantic, so like Miramar.
Okay.
Or sorry,
Okay.
Margate.
Did he have a twin brother?
No clue.
Okay.
No clue. So like the judo would go for like 2.5 hours.
Yeah. The school
And when
does.
they'd like close at 8, then the jiu-jitsu could come in. So you only had one class a day opportunity,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
And it was late.
Yeah. 8 to 9, 8 to 10 sometimes, you know? And so it's okay, Tuesday, Thursday, no gi, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, gi. That's everything.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you guys
But-
prefer the night classes or the, like morning classes? Like
when
what
I was in
crew
my
did-
20s, 10 a.m. was
that was
the
day.
jam.
On a
Now that I'm
work day.
old, night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On a work day, it has to be night. I can't be on the mat in the morning thinking about work.
Mm,
On the weekends, I love getting it out of the way in the morning. I love getting to a morning class.
Yeah.
My old school was 7 days a week. My new school is 6. They're closed on Saturdays.
Mm.
And there's an open mat on Sundays.
Really?
So I go to the-
Backwards.
yeah.
I want to
Dude,
get
I
a
like the
little more
midday,
staff.
10, 12. It's good.
I want to do an open mat Saturday night, an open mat Sunday, and classes Saturday morning.
Will you have people that'll show up on a Saturday night, or is that like
So
Yeah,
when
that's a good
COVID,
question.
I don't know.
boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife
Right, right.
time?
Who knows?
You know, I
Yeah.
drank the night
I got
before.
most of my students are 18 to 30,
Yeah.
and a lot of like young dudes that are like, "Fuck bitches, get money," you know. And those guys, yeah. And nowadays, a lot of these guys, they're into their health. They're not drinking.
Yeah.
Right.
You know.
What
They're-
time are you going to do the open mat on Saturday? What do you think?
I don't know. Like right now, I do a sparring at 10. I do open mat 11 to 1.
Okay.
You know, because again, I got a kid.
Yeah.
I hate how school is structured because like I wake up early. No one in my house has to wake up early. My daughter's got to be at school,
Right.
and then by the time she's out, I'm at work. So if I'm lucky, and this is fucking depressing, I see her like 10 hours during the business week.
Yeah.
The hour getting her ready, her 2
No,
hours for
100%,
class.
right.
It sucks.
Yeah.
And then I get the weekend, and it took a little while for me to realize, but like. My family time was a detriment to my income, and a detriment to my income is a detriment to my family. And
Yeah.
it becomes this horrible catch-22. But man, the 36 hours or 48 hours I have over the weekend is like
It's cold.
it's
Yeah,
everything.
It's everything you got. Right.
So which I was saying, like I want staff. Like I don't have to I don't want to worry about Saturdays and Sundays
Mhm.
at all.
Right.
You know,
Just have
hey,
somebody open the
gym,
Yeah.
open up for morning. You got class 1, 2, 3. Cool. Tommy, open up at night. Open mat. If no one comes,
Do you
leave
have guys
after
that you
40
do
That's
that with,
definitely-
though?
that's
You have
definitely-
guys
I have like a lot of assistant coaches, a lot of my fighters, and we kind of barter things out and stuff. And it's a little bit here, a little bit there, but no one that I would be like, hey, you want to lock in for a Saturday night?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like when my gym grows to the point where like I can offer career money,
Yeah.
then yeah, hey man, this is your Saturday night because you're gonna make 50, 60K a year.
So-
here,
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Exactly.
Do you think, as a gym owner, do you think that I don't know if you do this now, do you like allowing them to do privates with your students, to book privates? It's helpful.
So
it's helpful
I-
in them making money, so
Yeah,
then
yeah,
it
yeah.
becomes more valuable to them.
Mhm.
Right.
And I know some gyms are like, well, if you're doing a private, I get part of that, or does it all go to them? Like,
So
what is that?
it depends. I've had different guys in different situations, but now that things have kind of grown, I got a handful of people. It's a simple split. I'm not taking a lot. I know you go to LA Fitness 24, it's 50-50.
Yeah.
I'm basically going, give me $20, $10, because you're using my electricity, you're using my water, you're blah,
Right.
blah, blah, wear and tear. I charge $100-ish an hour. I'm thinking about raising it. I don't do a ton of privates anymore because I'm running the business.
Right.
But for my assistant coaches, it's $75 an hour. I take $15 to $20 depending on, the deal that I have with that individual, and they keep the rest.
Right.
Because that's an hour worth of lights, water time, wear and tear of the mat. $15 is cake.
Yeah.
Let alone the fact that I marketed it, sold it, paid the taxes on it, and now I'm just giving you cash.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay,
I get it.
that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Do you guys do they allow at your gym staff members to do privates, higher?
I'm not really sure, man. I'm not really sure what Keanu and Carmichael, how they have that set up in terms of private lessons.
What's your school? What's the name of your school?
Ground Game Theory.
Ground Game Theory.
So I train no gi at Ground Game Theory, and I do the gi at Daniel Perez, right?
Okay.
Which is the guy that asked about the bananas.
Oh yeah, we didn't get to the questions, man. We're gonna have to have you come back, bro.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
I wrapped one of your guys' fighters at a combat night Fort Lauderdale not long ago.
Which from which school?
Ground Game Theory.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll look it up. I have it.
That was recent then. Was it George?
Maybe. It was 2-3 shows ago. Probably 4 months.
I'd have to ask Alex. Alex is the MMA coach out of
good.
there. Yeah, it's cool, man. I didn't
All
know
right,
that.
so listen,
I'm all over the
I'm gonna
place.
invite
Yeah,
you
too,
back
everyone.
now
Okay.
because we talked about Academy Safe for so long.
Dude, that's
we
also
cut into
kind of my fault because I
No, I
was
told
like,
you. I love when it goes like that. We didn't do anything wrong, but
Yeah.
we didn't get to a lot of the questions.
That's
we
okay.
had the studio till 2. And,
That's fine, man. Don't worry
and
about
Christian's probably got some girl that he wants to take out to lunch or something.
Christian, what are you doing, dude?
Dude, put the camera
He
on
probably
Christian. This guy is hot.
He probably
Look
wants
at
Dude, he's a
Just
stud, dude.
Pull him up on Instagram.
He
Pull up
friended
the
me
po-
on Instagram. All of his pictures, no shirt.
Yeah,
Really?
All of them. His abs stick out of his
we
body.
know what he
Yeah.
wants.
Yeah, so I've told this story like a million times, and it gets old. It doesn't get old because now I'm telling it to somebody new.
Yeah.
So when we start the podcast, we start here, he doesn't mention that he trains, or he mentions a little bit. He mentions something about training, maybe.
Wait, does he do jujitsu?
And then he does. No, he's not that much of a man to do jiu-jitsu, but he's not manly enough for it now. No, but he winds up if I'm just around you. Instagram is going to target me with you later, right? It's going to know that we were in and Facebook does it too, right? It's just it knows we were in close proximity,
It's the
so
Matrix,
it's fucking crazy, right?
Yeah.
So whatever. So I wind up seeing his Instagram, and his profile pic is him in the ring, gloved up, he just forgot to mention that we're over here talking about jiu-jitsu, martial arts, MMA.
Yeah.
So he just really downplayed it.
Yeah.
So
he trains boxing, and is that what he do?
So-
MMA?
He does MMA. He's
Oh,
trained.
he's humble,
Yeah,
humble
he's
about it.
Yeah, no, it's part of it. No,
okay,
he's just trying to be
Low key, mysterious.
Yeah, mysterious.
Mysterious MMA.
He's trying to be mysterious. So who's the that UFC fighter that you train with once in a while? Mickey Gall.
Oh yeah,
Mickey
he's
Gall
from New
used
Jersey,
to do
right?
he used to do a podcast here.
Oh, cool.
He did a podcast here with his
I thought he was out of
partner.
New
What
Jersey.
was that big guy's name?
Gerard Michaels.
Gerard Michaels, a comedian, right? That guy's a comedian, right? He's a good follow. But they filmed here, and then he started training with them. Didn't Mickey Gall's wife or girlfriend or sister beat you up?
Yeah, shout out Kim. She's very tough. She's,
His sister?
No, it's his wife.
It's his wife? Mickey
now.
Gall's wife?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They just had a kid, but
You
she's,
never rub
she's
another
tough.
man's
She has
rhubarb.
3 boxing fights.
You said she's teed you up a little bit, right?
She's boxing
Batman
fights.
Wonder
She's
Woman.
tough.
Dude, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Comment.
So he's all under the radar, but I always tell that story because it's he plays nonchalant.
Yeah,
But
I'm gonna kick your ass.
We've
never rolled though. So.
never rolled, but the fact he bring he's so nonchalant about it. I'm he's gonna come out
Yeah,
fucking
he's a
rocking
killer,
it.
bro.
Yeah, he's probably a killer, and he's hey, see, right?
Yeah.
You know he's
He has
downplaying
the
it,
grin.
right?
He has that grin that's
Yeah.
I could
Look,
hurt
we
you.
got
Jiu-jitsu's
all these
bad.
cameras,
I
and
could
this
fuck you
table
up, Milton.
moves. I'm just saying.
I think he's I know his hands. He's probably he's
I
probably
heard
really
they're
good.
soft and calloused.
But I don't know. I don't know how much he doesn't talk a lot about I train jiu-jitsu. It's usually I sparred.
My
I
jiu-jitsu's
used to
bad.
Stand up, yeah.
Says the
That-
guy
that
whose
means
jiu-jitsu is
jiu-jitsu-
not that bad.
Yeah, right. He's just I only train MMA.
I
I only
haven't
do
trained
no-gi.
it in a year. I haven't really done it.
I don't know how to pass guard without
I
punching.
come in here limping the day after to do a podcast. I trained with Christian yesterday.
That's
All right, so listen, straight up, love to have you back
Sure, man,
soon. We
whatever.
come back. You can
Sure.
come and hang out.
Can you
Let's
tell
do
me
some
how
of the other
people
questions.
get on your podcast?
Yeah,
Well, you can go on YouTube and just look up Roll Science, and you'll find our episodes. If you want to follow us on Instagram, it's Roll Science at Roll Science. You'll find it there, and just if you like what you see, the content, go ahead and like and subscribe it. whatever you guys want.
So coaches
You should-
or athletes, should they be like DMing you?
Please DM me. Yes,
Hey,
please, so we can do this.
I didn't even think about it right here. He's an awesome guest.
Okay.
You got
Hell
you
yeah,
guys should
bro.
hook up. You
That'd
guys
be
should
awesome.
hook up and do a podcast
Dude, you have
together.
like a crazy life.
Dude, you have no idea.
That'd be awesome.
You like haven't even scratched the surface. There's
Dude,
so
yeah,
many.
like, I'm just hearing like tidbits of
Where
things
is it that
he's
you
done.
lived? You lived in
Thailand.
In Thailand for how many
Germany?
years?
Yeah, from Connecticut. Moved down here when I was 12. Moved to Thailand. Taught and ran gyms there for 3.5 years. Went to Germany. Ran the jiu-jitsu program for MMA Spirit in Frankfurt for a contract. Went to Colorado Springs. Ran a gym with Mark Fiore, Olympic wrestling coach, Militich coach, Robbie
Wow.
Lawler coach. Ran a gym there for about a year. I got there 3 weeks later. He's like, I'm retiring. You're taking over. And I was like, what the fuck? Then came back here and opened my own gym 9 years ago.
When did you do the Ultimate Fighter? At what point?
2009.
2009. I mean, he's got a good story. He's a
Wait,
great
you
story.
did the
Yeah.
you were on you wait.
Not for very long.
You did the Ultimate Fighter because
Yeah.
dude, I've watched what season?
11.
Did
I got
for sure I've
hooked
seen
up. I'll keep this quick because I know we're tight on time. I got hooked up.
Uh-huh.
The editors, the video people, we all got along really well. My interviews were 45 to 60 minutes. Everyone else's 4 to 5. I don't know how. Obviously, we know how.
Yeah.
But so they hooked me. I lost my fight. It wasn't a good look.
But you lost your fight to get on the show,
Yeah.
or you lost your fight?
I lost my fight to get into the house.
Into the house. Okay.
So
which
I
they aired that stuff.
Yeah,
right?
Right,
they
yeah,
aired
that
it.
season
So
they would air that.
basically, they hooked me up. They put me on. They gave me a little talking head spot where I talked about myself. They intro me. I lose my fight. They immediately flip. No intro, no walkout. Immediately flip to the most exciting finish of the season, which was this 10-0 kid fighting a guy who had like 3 or 4. Everyone's like, oh, this 10-0 kid's going to murder. He gets obliterated to the hospital in 7 seconds.
Jeez.
So they basically show me getting whooped and immediately highlight someone else getting whooped worse. So no one saw me get my ass kicked.
Okay.
They hooked me up. I remember one of the guys emailed me. I was like, hey, man, good to meet you, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, hey, bro, we took care of you. Don't worry. And I was like, sweet. They were awesome.
That's great, dude.
Yeah.
Again, great. We got 3
Yeah, it's
we got
awesome.
3 guests associated with the show for
That's
you.
awesome,
So,
dude. That's great.
boom, that'd be awesome.
That'd be great.
So let me give you some time. Do you, if you want to shout at anybody, wife, gym, tell everybody where you train. Hit the. We
Ground
just said the
Game Theory.
podcast again.
Roll Science. Go ahead and give it a follow. The producer that's helping him produce everything, Mango Stain TV. Daniel Perez, obviously, I trained there, and my wife, which she's Bianca Franchini Rivera. Follow her.
Is she what's her rank?
She's a
What-
blue belt, but
she's
she's
blue belt?
actively competitive. Like she's
Yeah.
very competitive.
Do you say she's the competitor in the family?
Fuck yeah, she's
Yeah.
a competitive. I don't
If
need
you
to-
guys rolled
Can't
for
you kick your
dishes,
ass?
who loses?
for dishes,
You got to roll for who does the dishes.
dude, I'm not losing. That fight.
I ain't doing no fucking dishes.
That's why I train, so I don't have to do dishes.
Facts.
That's the only reason.
Sir?
All right. Hit me right here. HammerJujitsuShop.com. Get the dopest kit available, at least the ones that are made by me. If you're in the North Palm
Move
Beach,
the mic so they can see your shirt. There you go.
if you are in the North Palm Beach area and you want to train any aspect of Jiu-Jitsu or MMA, American Top Team Palm Beach Gardens, you can find me online, MMA Coach Ben. Check me out.
Unlock the power of your online presence with Black Belt Digital Marketing. Their reputation management program ensures your Google business profile seen by more potential customers. Black Belt Digital Marketing is your full-service digital marketing agency specializing in local SEO and reputation management. Boost your business today. Visit bbdigitalmarketing.com. Your success is their priority.
I've been training jiu-jitsu for 4 years. In 4 years, I got hurt 6 times. I received stem cell injections in my wrists, elbows, shoulders, both knees, and I got stem cells recently injected in my left index finger. After a week and a half, I was right back at it, going the way I like to go at it. At Lehir Biogenics, they're friendly, they're patient, they answer all the questions you might have. Educate yourself. Call Lehir, ask about stem cells, and see where it takes you.
Special thank you to the crew over at Flow and Roll for all their support. Flow and Roll is renowned for their incredible no-gi rash guards, shorts, and leggings. Flow and Roll has quickly become the premier custom apparel provider for academies big and small throughout the United States. Reach out today to discuss your custom order and ask about their incredible pre-order program. You can send an email to flowandroll@gmail.com or visit their Instagram at flow_n_roll and shoot them a direct message. And yes, they can create an awesome custom gi for your academy as well. Visit flowandroll.com to check out their awesome designs, and remember, you'll get 20% off your purchase of t-shirts, rash guards, or gis with code JJD.
Apparently it's a great story.
let me throw this in. I like my jiu-jitsu content when I want to look at a move. I like it in that 30 to 60 seconds. I love that stuff. I see what you put out, and I see these other ones, and even Robbie D'Onofrio and that stuff that's a little bit more, let's call it highly produced.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're right there with them.
Awesome.
I love the way that you teach yourself. Your head doesn't need to get any bigger.
It really doesn't. I don't fit in heads.
Keep on doing what you're doing, the way that you're doing it. I love the way, not the basic way, that sounds bad. Like when you're put your hand here, do it here. There are adults at Black Belt who appreciate that. I need that. When I'm learning a move in my academy, I'm the guy that's can you show it one more time? Where was your foot?
Mm-hmm.
Why did,
That's how I learn.
The way that you teach, there are plenty of guys out here like me that love that.
Hell yeah.
Put your hand here, do it this. You even have little names for certain things. You're wave at the alligator.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're do that. I love that. Don't stop that. There's not everybody's doing it like that. The way that you do it, I think, has a wider audience. If you keep on doing it, I think it's going to really continue to take off. I think it's awesome. I love when I see your stuff. I'm just sometimes I'm just go and I'm oh, cool. You were I think the last one that really stood out to me was you were showing an armbar.
Mm-hmm.
You were just showing the armbar, and the way that you just showed it was just oh man, I don't lean over I got to do that. So I pick up on those little things, but I think I'm at the point in my jiu-jitsu life that I just like little nuggets.
Yeah.
I do that and I'm doing it wrong.
Yeah.
And I take that, or it's a reminder of man, I keep on forgetting to do that.
It's crazy when you do it for so long, dude, that those little details that change your game. That's awesome.
MMA Coach Ben, right?
Yep.
Great follow, great content.
I'll play right now.
And I love when somebody leaves their kit. So anytime somebody leaves their gloves or their shin guards or just any piece of their equipment, they leave it in the gym overnight. He does a video and he'll be like, somebody left the key. One burpee for every like that they get on that video.
Bro.
So is it by the time the next time they come,
what
so
I started doing
if it's
was
50, 100 I always share those.
I started capping
I always share those.
I started
to my
capping it at
stories.
24 hours. One of my assistant coaches, one of my kids' coaches, and I didn't want to hit him hard with it because he's fucking great, but he left his stuff. And in 24 hours, it was 135 likes. And I was like, that's it. That's
130.
Enough.
That's so it's
Most
supposed
ever.
to be 135.
That's
The
burpees,
most
right?
ever. The first time I did it, I let it run. And it was 365 in 48 hours.
Oh, Jesus.
And I was like, okay.
I started sharing. Maybe
I threw the kid's shoes out. He was like, I'm not doing that. And I was like, cool. Threw his shoes. I got
That's a good
gloves.
decision, dude.
I have
Did you get that from somebody doing that, or did you make
Danny
start doing it
Mitchell,
yourself? Okay.
the Cheesecake Assassin.
The Cheesecake Assassin.
Yeah, he's over in England. He's a buddy of mine. He won one of the scholarships to the Tiger Muay Thai tryouts when I was one of the assistant coaches for it, and we just became buddies. And I saw him post because he left his kit and was like, if you're going to do it, I'm going to do it. And he had to do 200. And I was like, what is this? And he explained the rules. And I was
Now
like,
I feel
going
bad.
into effect now.
I feel bad, because I share those to my stories, and it's got to pick up.
Dude,
somewhere.
I got 5 accounts, and I like it from all of them.
You should do.
So they at least got 5.
You know what?
Yep.
They at least got 5.
You got to come up with. I know I know it, so I see it. But if you put a little graphic, something that says, so that people come across and be like, oh, somebody left their kit. Even more in your face.
Like a little logo-y
that
thing?
one is about somebody left their kit, something that's alert, or just using one of the graphics on there that stands out, because I'll be somebody left their kit. And I shared them to my story now. I'm starting to feel
You
bad.
shared them in the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies story.
I share
That
them
gets
to
a lot more reach.
it's
Dude.
16,000 plus. I'm like
Poor people are doing burpees,
definitely
bro.
going to pick up some and then I have so many accounts. And then I'm in my clients' accounts sometimes. And sometimes, sometimes I'm just in their accounts because we run their accounts. So
And
then I'm like, oh, Coach Ben, there's some tree company and they're like, well, why is this tree company doing?
Dude, that explains a lot of
Why is this tree company just liking
Why
my
is this
shit?
shirtless guitarist liking this?
Let me do these last 2 shout outs, and then we're going to wrap it up. So shout out to BioPro, bioproteintech.com. Get $30 off with code JJD on their regularly priced kits. That BioPro is a bioidentical alternative to HGH. So it's just an over-the-counter. It's not HGH. It's just a bioidentical. I love it. This is straight up. I do not talk about this stuff if I don't use it. There's the plus for nighttime. This one. If I go to sleep and I'm like, man, why aren't I falling? I forgot. Oh, shit, I forgot to take it. I take it, I'm asleep in like 10 minutes. So I love, this is the one that I take at night. But there's the morning, put it under your tongue, hold it for 90 seconds, go about your day. Swallow it, go about your day. I love it. Before I did any TRT or anything, I was doing the BioPro. I was taking just over the counter like testosterone booster pills, like make your body produce more testosterone all over the counter. After all that ashwagandha stuff came out on Rogan and all that, I found when I started taking it, it was good. I started taking this stuff, and I've said this before a million times. I was a walking boner for weeks, taking the 2, and he had told me, I said, should I stop? He's like, no, continue taking what you're taking. Just add this. Right. This is like, it's completely natural. You can mix it. Don't worry about any supplements you're taking, anything that you're injecting, whatever, any vitamins you take, just do it. This is just, it's a natural, again, bioidentical, and you're good. Go about your day. And I was like, all right, I guess I'll try it. Between the 2 of them, because I do TRT now. Yeah. But I was just doing I was a walking freaking boner. I was like, what is going on?
Hey, Christian, can you extend the timer? I want to keep talking about your boner.
No. All right. So BJJ Box has been back with us as well. Check them out at thebjjbox.com. Right. They give the they do it quarterly now. So next time we get a box, we'll do an unboxing here. But right, it's one of those gift boxes that comes right when you pay a quarterly fee, and you get T-shirts, you get like gear, you get tape, you get recovery stuff. Right. I've gotten like protein bars and things like that. So you get like 4 to 7 different items. You can do an upgraded version of their package where they actually send you a rash guard every quarter. So they got different packages. Go to thebjjbox.com, check them out. You get 20% off of your first box with JJD20. Right? Yeah, that's correct. Check us out at Jiu-Jitsu Dummies for all the ways to watch, listen, and support. You can check me out. My personal IG is Uncle Milty BJJ, but most people are hitting me up on Jiu-Jitsu Dummies. I think that's it. We're good? We're good? How much time did we go over? Are you late for your date? No, just kidding. Thank you for watching and listening, everybody. Peace, love, Jiu-Jitsu. Take care, everybody.
There you go.
Thank you, guys.
Great.